Straight Riffin is filmed in front of a live internet audience.
I am riffing. Mitch is riffing. What more can I say? Straight riffing. Do you know how fucking desperate I am for some comfort in my life? I need that pillow.
This show is intended for mature audiences only.
I've seen a lot of dicks.
I don't know how much more disgusting this experience could get.
Are you really not having a good time?
I'm having a fantastic time. I just can't believe how disgusting you are.
I kept yelling, I'm not going to whip my dick out. We talked about that. I'm not going to do that.
Featuring your host, Mitch Marzoni.
I don't walk around going like, hey, I'm really weird. Look at me, I'm weird. As far as I'm concerned, I'm perfectly normal. It's a litmus test for freaky people.
And Teddy Tutson.
I'm a hate mercenary. Yeah.
All right. Hate mercenary.
Hater for hire. Hater for hire. I should put on British guys.
There are two victimless crimes, all right? One, jerking off when your window's open. Two, necrophilia.
I'm confessing to a large right now.
Legs akimbo, engaged in sexual discourse.
Come on, man. What kind of guest are you?
It's archived for posterity.
Great internet.
So it'll come back to haunt you every day.
It's time to riff.
Oh, that is right, bitches and motherfuckers. It is December 3rd, 2012, episode 90, I think, yeah?
Yes, sir.
Episode 90, and it is time to riff the fuck on. I'm your host, Reverend Mitch, and with me, as always, is the difficult brown, the hater for hire, Mr. Teddy, TMI, Tutson. How the fuck are you, sir?
Hanging in, Mitch, holding on tight, watching a lot of
Yeah.
National Geographic, trying to get on top of Mayan news, make sure no apocalypses is coming in through the back door, you know what I'm saying? Just holding on, baby.
So
knocking on the door for
not been
2013.
listening to me for all these years. When I
You know
said
what I'm
nothing,
saying?
You know
what I'm saying?
Well, I'm just,
Man
it's
can never
all
be
right.
too careful, brother.
Yeah, of course. And our guest this evening, Mr. Billy Bonnell. How the fuck are you, sir?
Good. Do I get an acronym middle name too? Your TMI.
Come on, brother. Step up.
I was looking forward to it, but I got nothing.
All right, let's see. Well, it's just
UTI.
going by the transitive property.
UTI is good. Billy UTI, Bonnell.
Billy UTI. Go ahead and with that. The first thing that came to my head was BMI, just because TMI, BMI. But then I was like, oh, he's going to take that as like some kind of weight remark. And I
Oh
don't
no,
want to be
no,
that guy.
you can't hurt my feelings. Body mass
All right.
index.
Yeah.
That's me.
Billy Body Mass Index.
You know what? Actually,
Bonnell.
though, Billy Body Mass Index. If you take away the fucking abbreviation, that really does sound like a baller ass UFC nickname, though.
It does.
Like
Does
if you were a
sound
fucking
like-
UFC cage fighter and you were fucking
Billy.
Body Mass Index.
Billy, the Body Mass Index.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
There actually is a UFC fighter by my name, but he's like 0-1.
Wait, is it really?
I
Someone
did
thought I was.
see that. I wondered if you had gotten into the UFC game. I was
Someone
like,
thought I was UFC fighting. I was like, "Are you?" I mean, I was thinking they were asking me to be facetious, but they were like, "No, seriously." I saw Bill Bonnell UFC record 0-1.
Yeah.
Or probably not even
This is
UFC.
true.
That
It's a-
seems too big for
yeah,
that.
yeah, right.
Wherever-
I don't know. When I
MMA.
Googled, it showed up. There was like some
Can
of
we
that
get a picture?
MMA
Can we get a-
fighters.
can we
and
find a
there's
picture
no,
of your-
There's no pictures.
Yeah, that's why
unfortunately.
there was no picture. That was
Oh, yeah.
they wouldn't have asked the question.
I think it's
You look
MMA,
like-
not
you
so
look
much
like,
UFC.
you could be on the Kevin James
Yeah.
Ultimate Fighting track. A little
It was
Oh
on
yeah,
like
yeah.
the like.
If he can do it, right? I'm
It
not
was on
that
that,
fast.
like,
Shit,
the-
man.
That's what I'm saying,
All
man.
right, the body mass index thing has
if-
gone too
Yeah,
far.
it doesn't.
Kevin
look,
James
it's,
can do an Ultimate Fighting.
It's just he's just an MMA fighter, so he's not like in the UFC.
William
it's just
Bonnell.
that UFC style.
Oh.
Is what
Oh
you're
yeah,
thinking
now he
of.
says
Yeah.
William.
Yeah.
5'9",
William
185?
Billy in quotes. Bonnell.
Dude, I think this guy's
Yeah,
height and weight
he's
are so
got
close
nothing.
to me
He's-
that.
he's-
I was
he's
about
had
to
zero
ask,
fights.
how
no, it was also.
Oh no, here we
close
go.
that I
He's
think-
got there you go, one loss down there. But of course,
Yeah,
on this
0-1.
on this board it shows 0-0.
Yeah,
Down
it's
here it says that he lost.
He got knocked out with punches. Technical knockout with punches.
Dude, it was so close to me that I thought someone
Mr.
just
TKO
made
punches.
this.
Yeah, what
Like someone was fucking around and was like, I'm going to make this for him on Shred
That's a
Dog or
gr-
SureDog.com.
Yeah.
Because that's my height. I'm not 188 pounds, but if I was muscular, that'd probably be.
right. If you were in training mode,
Yeah.
you know, if you were
If I was cutting weight and I was in
regimen,
like. Oh, yeah, like when you get ready for weigh-ins.
that would be fucking hilarious if someone had made a fake MMA account for you,
And they're just waiting?
right, yeah, and they just
Because it's been up for a long time. They're just waiting for me to be like, wait, who did it? Maybe this is the day.
And every
right.
every up and coming MMA fighter that needs to look like they've got to win beats
right.
you.
right, yeah.
This
You know what I
is-
mean?
Yeah, this is honestly.
Hey, did you
the
beat
first
Billy
time I've-
Bonnell?
Some-
Me
it's
too.
like
You're
a-
like the Glass Joe of
Yeah,
MMA.
It's like I don't know
awesome.
if anyone was a wrestling fan, but back in the day, how the Brooklyn Brawler was the jobber. So like any wrestler, you know, like he was like the fucking wrestler that you could just beat and everyone
Right,
knew that
Glass
you were going
Joe.
to be. He's a jobber. That's what they call him. So it's just like,
No, I'm
you know.
going video games again. Mike Tyson's Punch
I
Out.
wish there was a video of this guy. You know, because I found that like a year. Like no one likes it on Facebook. No one's tweeting his
he's
one
got
loss.
no Google Plus.
Oh,
he's
and
got
look,
no footprint.
He
of
got
anything.
knocked out in a minute and 30 seconds.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
in
So
round one.
round one.
With
Anyone-
punches, with
knockout.
punches no less.
Punches.
Which is
Anyone who's
Billy
faking,
Bonnell, MMA.
if someone's faking me, then they made me look like a real bitch.
Yeah, man. If this is a real payback operation, then I don't know who you crossed, but
Because my real name is William too. Who is this guy?
Now, the only thing on YouTube very close is Billy Giovanella versus Dan Bonnell pre-fight.
Really? Maybe there's a mix-up.
There's a lot of Bonnells in the world. Yeah, that's true. There could be just like one drunk fan that's like, "Come on, Billy!" Oh, his name's not Billy.
No.
Oh,
now,
That's
do you
why it's in
have
quotes
a
and shit.
connection to Haverhill, Massachusetts?
No,
yeah.
I can barely say Massachusetts.
I'm from Matt's.
Right.
Fuck it.
You're a San
Matt.
Diego man. You're a San Diego
Well, I
man.
think that's a tongue twister state right there, right?
Massachusetts?
Yeah,
There's no state, not even Mississippi, because you get the MISSI.
that's
quicker letter.
easy.
You know,
That's
you get
really
the
easy.
Yeah, but
unless
there's-
you have a lisp, then you're fucked.
Yeah,
Humpback,
there's no
humpback, yeah.
state that makes me question my spelling abilities more than Massachusetts.
That's fair.
Anytime I'm halfway through, I panic.
It's not even saying it fluidly in a sentence is complicated.
Right?
Yeah, Massachusetts.
Massachusetts?
I got Massachusetts.
No.
Worcestershire sauce, however, is a little bit more difficult. That's one of those ones that you got
I
to.
still don't know if I'm saying it right. I still don't know. I use it all the time. Worcestershire.
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 It's just
Can we ask
Worcester.
Jay?
It's Worcester. Oh yeah,
Worcester?
Yeah. Ask Jay. How Jay
But
say?
there's an ire in there, isn't there? It's like Worcestershire. or
Yeah,
something.
but it's not pronounced. It's
That's
like
why I'm
it's
sa-
Worcester.
Listen, you motherfuckers came up with words a long time ago. Y'all fucked it up for everybody.
Worcest. Oh God, it's
C-A-S-H.
Worcester.
He'll know.
Right?
He'll know.
Yeah, I don't think
No,
you have
there's
the
a
H.
H and
I don't
I.
think there's an H in there.
You gotta spell it
Yeah,
right.
see,
right.
hold on. You hear it out? You hear it? He did it. He did it.
Ready? Here we go.
How'd Jay say his guy?
Worcester.
Oh,
Worcester.
Oh, here we go. Worcestershire sauce.
Yeah, come
Okay.
on.
All right. There
Come
it
on.
is. Okay,
There's
Worcestershire.
a fucking bunch of H's in there.
It's from the
Worcester
Shire.
sauce or Worcestershire sauce.
Worcestershire. See,
Worcestershire
I had it kind of.
God, that's just so snooty.
Even the first one sounded a little bit easier. Hold on.
Who is J and Y?
Worcester sauce or Worcestershire sauce.
Worcestershire or
this is
Worcester.
a man who
you could
settles
just-
all linguistic disputes on the
Yeah.
internet.
Oh, why does he have an accent? That sucks. That almost
Worcestershire.
makes it.
Worcestershire.
That makes me hate it more.
Yeah, right.
He became like the king of how to pronounce things when he settled a year-long debate between Teddy and I on how to say strength.
Strength. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man, you're talking to the wrong guy about how to say shit, right?
No. It's
You talking you or Teddy?
Me.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
is that linguistics not a good place to go right now?
Not when you grow up in Texas. Everyone talks
Wait, where are you from in
pretty
Texas?
poorly. Cleveland, Texas.
Okay, I was born and raised in Houston.
Yeah, way north of
Humble.
that.
Yeah. Humble? Don't you dare.
Just south of Dallas and Fort Worth.
Makes
Okay.
that like I have no pride about that. I don't know what it means to
Yeah.
say it.
How long were you in Texas for?
So I was 19.
Damn.
Wow.
Oh, really?
My whole life, pretty much.
Yep, that's a very Texas
You
sentence
slide-
right
yeah,
there.
slide
That's
in,
it, yeah, my whole life.
Been around about just about, you know, man.
I
Know,
reckon
man.
19
Ting,
years.
You know,
Do
something
you
like
do you
that.
find yourself using Reckon far more than most people in your social circle? Because I use Reckon all the time. I reckon.
The South has a few words that are really really great utility words. Y'all, reckon,
Fixin'.
Fixin'.
fixna.
I don't know.
I can't think of the other ones, but those are all perfectly cromulent phrases there. They can all be
Romulan? Did he say Romulan?
Cromulent.
Oh,
Simpsons? No.
no.
I don't know why it's a perfectly cromulent word. No.
I say a lot of stuff weird I found out when I joined the Navy. So I was in the Navy for like 10 years, but right when I got there, everyone's from different places. So I was the only person like in my boot camp from Texas, which is pretty surprising based on how large the state is.
Yeah, you would think.
And then I moved to San Diego in 2005, and then, you know, they talked
Was that
different.
part?
in there.
Was that when you were done with the Navy?
That was no.
was
I
part
just
of your-
I got done with the Navy in April.
Okay, all right.
But my girlfriend often corrects. I don't know.
Wait,
Sometimes
so
I'll
you
say a
were
word
in,
and
you
she'll
were
be
in
like-
Texas for 19 years, then in the Navy for 10 years.
Yeah. I went to Texas, Chicago,
living in this little
Virginia, Iceland,
I've been
Virginia,
man.
Mississippi, Florida, California.
Mississippi, Florida, Iceland, Texas. I've been everywhere, man.
Was that so? That part of that was Navy, just going around, or part of it was just you like traveling, just wanting
No,
to see
all
shit?
Navy.
All
Those
Navy
are all the
stuff?
places I went in the Navy.
All different.
I traveled to some other places, but the Navy, like back home. I traveled back when I was in the Navy in a weird spot. Like my travel was, hey mom, I'm back in Texas. Save my room for me. I don't know how this is gonna work out.
10 years, and then you said, "No, I'm good. I've
wanted
had
to
my career in the Navy. I'm gonna go off and do something else now."
What was it about the Navy that brought you into that branch as opposed to like any other?
Well, the only reason
Please
I
say
picked the
sailors. Please say sailors.
Navy, no, everyone in my family was in the Navy, so that's why I went there.
Oh, okay, military.
It's the only thing I knew about. Well, yeah. Well, my dad was actually in the Army, but my uncle, my grandpa, my sister, and
Don't
two
they
of
have
my
a big
cousins.
rivalry between
Army Navy.
the
It's coming up
armed forces?
this Saturday, right? That's the game is this Saturday. Army
Don't
Navy
look at me.
game.
I don't know why you looked at me. when
You just
asked
mentioned
that.
it. That's why I looked at you.
No, I said, isn't there a big rivalry? I just mean in general, like between the various armed forces. Like, oh, them Navy guys are fags. All those Army guys are pussies.
I think
whatever.
most of it is to the Navy. The Navy, the Navy doesn't give a fuck about anyone. We're just hanging out.
Right.
I'm gonna put that.
But your dad being an Army guy,
I'm putting the
Well,
Navy
he wasn't
is just hanging out.
him being an Army guy, didn't he go like, oh, well, I'm being in the Navy, huh?
No, he
No,
wasn't
nothing?
around when
Okay.
I went to the Navy. My dad, he passed away when I was younger, so he didn't even know. But I imagine he would have talked some shit because he was in the Army in Vietnam. So,
Yeah, he
Oh.
would have definitely talked some shit. I feel like.
but like when you're
Then
in the Navy, everyone else
Darby
is like
shit-talking.
Navy faggots, and then like.
So what is?
But the Navy doesn't care about anyone else. We're just hanging out playing video
So
games
it's
on a
kind of
ship.
like the Navy is just like everyone's fucking punching bag, and the Navy is like, I don't know why you guys care so much, bro.
Yeah, they're like really passive. But Marines are like, fuck the Navy, and we're like, oh, come on, guys.
Who is it? Which branch would you say is the
But you got the
most
Navy
just-
SEALs. That tops Marines any day, no?
It truly. I mean,
I mean,
Not
on
if
the
you ta-
hierarchy.
not if you
not
ask
that
the
there's that
Marine,
many.
huh? If you ask the Marine, they might have something different to say. But I think that
Well, I thought that was just one of those undisputed things. It was
Yeah,
just like
unless you
Navy
talk-
SEAL is a
Unless you
Navy,
fucking
know?
yeah, come on.
I
Come on.
think that
Now, granted, there's not many of them, but still.
So
I'm
you
just
got
saying.
green berets, bro. Come on, you got all kind of fucking.
well,
elite.
everyone has their one, but I think that if it's an unbiased party saying who's the toughest training, it would be the Navy SEALs, almost undoubtedly.
right.
But I mean, that's all we got going for us.
I
If you
feel
think
like- yeah.
it's because everyone else is on ships. If you think, well, the Air Force is pretty gay too. Like, if you thought about it like that, like everyone's like the Navy's gay, but like a lot of people, maybe that's the one thing the Navy would say. Was
You know, I
like,
really
That's true.
like.
There was Top Gun as,
Yeah.
as
what
a
I
very
really,
gay film.
What I really like about what
Has
Billy
there been
just
any
said
gay Navy
Very-
is
films?
how like you could see the wheels turning in Billy's head as he really thought about the Air Force. He's like,
That's
nah,
how I
they're
figured-
pretty gay too. It's like he could see Top Gun flashing through
Is
his
it
head.
is it
fast
all
forward.
about like the fact that like Air Force? I would imagine sees the least amount of action these days.
yeah,
Like as far as
Definitely.
like if some shit's going down, you only need like what 2 jets. You know,
yeah, but most of they don't.
Steve, you can stay. All
I
right.
think the major portion of the fighter force would be the Navy fighters, but I don't know for sure. I wasn't
Right,
into
right.
the logistics.
But they don't really do anything.
Yeah, what
they just,
exactly-
they just
what-
sit
what
there
was
on
the
a
reason I
battleship,
started
right?
thinking of the Air Force was because in my head I was like we don't make fun of. I mean, the Navy, we really don't care. We're just like, our job's pretty cool, you know. We get to be kind of comfortably safe away most
Yeah,
of the time, which is
Right.
cool. But the Marines have it pretty hard, and the Army has it pretty hard. But when people are like the Navy, and then the only thing we would probably say is like, but what about the Air Force, guys? Like divert. Not like we'd be like,
Yeah.
fuck the Air Force, but we'd be like, but yeah,
Well,
the
I would-
Air
Like,
Force.
yeah, no, I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying.
Of all the armed forces, if it's all out battle, land, sea, and air, the safest you could be is on a Navy battleship, right? Like those big ass fucking warships.
yeah.
the
What
air-
were- yeah, what
I
were
mean,
you
that's
actually
like
doing with that? The last
aircraft
time-
carriers. There's nobody's gonna fuck with that.
No one fucks with the aircraft carrier. The aircraft carrier probably have to be the scariest showing of.
when those motherfuckers roll up on shore, like, yeah, this is a training exercise.
Yeah.
Dude. It's a training exercise.
No, like Navy.
Hey, your whole coast belongs to
I
us
think
now.
one of the Navy's things, or armed forces in general, one of the tactics is just power projection. And I don't think there's a stronger show of force without, like, there's a show of force with, like, cops, like, shoot the gun at the ground, or, like,
Right,
fire.
right,
Yeah.
right.
But for the Navy to put aircraft carrier off the coast with all the supporting ships, that's pretty
I
scary.
mean,
man.
you spend a lot of time on those. Those things are fucking. They're massive
I never-
metropolitan
yeah.
areas.
Little
I mean,
city
they're
right
hu-
there.
Yeah, they're
It's a
huge
city.
cities.
I
you know?
never got stationed on one, but I knew enough about it. But
Oh, you never stationed on a.
No, I was on a smaller ship.
So
for
what
me.
were you actually doing in your time in the Navy? What was-
Electronic technician.
Okay, doing some real IT
Hey,
shit. You're
all
IT.
right.
Working on
Alright.
radar,
Yeah.
actually, radar and communication stuff. There's another section for people who were doing. I went to a networking
So
school, but I
that
didn't
A
do
Beautiful Mind or whatever was that fuck with you?
No.
Because he's
the code.
deciphering the codes and shit.
No, that's
And you're
too
like, I
much
used to
math.
do that shit.
No, with radar stuff, it's kind of, I don't know. I found it's just easy. You don't go that deep into it. I'm not like replacing components. It's like, oh, that whatever it's not doing. It's like, oh, there's a card that controls that. Let's just switch that out.
Swap it out.
Yeah,
Swap out
it.
the floppy.
Yeah.
Hey, I got a bleep on quadrant 3. I'm going back to lunch or whatever, right? No, not so much.
Chow, they say.
I mean,
So-
you're right though. You're right though about
Taking a nap.
the sense of projection. I mean, that's basically what shock and awe was all about.
Yeah,
back in the day.
Well, again, I mean, you see that fucking
Just shock and awe was like bomb those.
Well, yeah, but
this
it-
is just like, hey, you see that thing?
You can see those fucking things over the horizon.
You think when all
It's
when
like,
the stuff in Iran
I
and
do
Libya,
like that.
all that stuff happens, you know, some ships start to go to that area. It's almost like
Yeah.
dad's
Yeah.
home, you know.
I mean, I like Billy's description of the personification of the various branches, where you've got like the fucking shock and awe, you know what I mean, and then just like bombing the fuck out of everybody, like we're gonna fucking kill everything, and then the Navy is just this real laid back copacetic force that's just like, hey, we might just roll up on your coast and post up for a bit, a couple days,
Tomahawks.
maybe a few
I
weeks.
wish a motherfucker would take a shot at our ship.
It was cruise missile stuff. But yeah, no one's really. I don't think anyone's taken a shot on a ship since the '80s. Where like I think.
Like other than you're thinking like I'm not thinking of that. I'm thinking like what Somali pirates with a pistol. Like hey,
No, I'm talking about like someone shot an Exocet missile. I think it was Iran. I'm not sure. But
Oh, like actually trying to target.
no, they hit a ship in the '80s.
Yeah.
That's the last time I
Oh.
think that a ship's been.
Don't hear that before.
Well, publicly.
right,
Yeah, right. Mhm.
Well, I mean, you know,
Back-
it seems a terribly bad idea. It's a wake a sleeping beast like that. You know what I mean?
No, then, but it's pretty safe now because everyone. I don't know. Wars are different now. Like in World War II, there were ship battles. Battle of
Right.
Midway, right? Like ships were out there and planes were bombing.
Well, there were
them and
actual
stuff.
navies that could somewhat compete before we had sort of amassed this
It was like a
fleet of
chess-
super vessels.
right.
No, but it's the same thing. There was like aircraft carriers and stuff, but ships would come near each other in the ocean and be like, send your planes out, bomb those, and then there'd be submarines bombing ships and taking.
Right. The German
That shit
U-boats.
Sure.
That shit doesn't happen anymore.
No, I mean, when you think back, I mean, even think back to to the Civil War, right? We had American battles. I mean, we had some ships and stuff, I think, going on. Or no, what am I thinking of? What's
Yeah,
the ship?
wooden.
American ship, yeah.
Yeah, and
There's
the
some-
Civil War.
Not,
Yeah, the Civil War too. That's how they got into Virginia. If you
Right.
just watch Lincoln.
I have not seen Lincoln yet. But,
No,
but
sorry.
yeah, I mean,
old wooden.
it's
ships.
definitely. I mean, I think it's interesting in terms of now, where especially in the last election, there's a lot of fucking rabble rousing about like the Navy, and we don't have enough boats, and like our technology is falling behind or whatever. But I mean, you know,
So we only need like 2.
right? I mean, the fucking Navy, like those
Right, right.
those fucking fleets are just—they're crazy advanced, right?
Yeah.
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 They can. Did you see the ship that shot the satellite out of orbit before it was falling? Remember that?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
There was a satellite that was going to fall into the Earth because it was losing its orbit or whatever, and they shot it out. The fucking satellite was falling at like 17,000 miles an hour, and we shot it out of the sky.
right.
There's your. Well, how advanced do you need to be?
Right.
Yeah, right.
That's some old West shit.
Yeah, they shot
Done.
a satellite that was traveling.
Was it the Navy that fucking stormed that ship with the small?
And don't nobody forget who shot that satellite out of the sky.
Fucking just,
P.S.
Right. Just straight up
Yeah.
regulated on those fools.
Yeah, I don't know. They see war's a business in America, so anyone lobbying to make it more advanced is because they probably have something to sell.
That's exactly right. The guy who was behind the biggest push for it had a shitload of money invested in the next generation of ships
Yeah,
that would have been
Of
better.
course.
Halliburton's
As
$1 billion business.
Right.
Way
yeah.
more.
I think
War's $1 trillion.
How many
business.
fucking movies
Also-
like in the like late
Everyone
80s?
knows. I mean, anyone who
From
knows
like the
anything.
80s and 90s where like the big thing was when there was suddenly peace on earth that somebody would look at a general and be like, well, I guess you're out of a job.
Right,
You know, and it was
yeah.
like, no, they'll find a new
Yeah.
thing to attack. Like, don't
No
you
doubt,
worry
bro.
about that.
No doubt.
You know?
There's an aspect of like you need to protect the country type stuff, but coming from Texas, I know the gun wielding type people that are like, we got to keep them out.
Yeah.
You know, the border.
I mean, it's that gun culture, man, where it's that fucking false sense of control and
Yeah.
that sense of
Nobody taking my guns away.
right,
Tell
because
you what.
you fundamentally feel powerless in your own life, and then you
Yeah.
just have a fucking stockpile of weapons and such, and you know. all
No,
of a
yeah,
sudden-
people are fucking crazy. Militia guys. There's people like Texas. I mean, politics is crazy, but war is even weirder.
I think like if I were gonna make
that's going on the board. Politics is crazy, but war is even weirder.
Is this a quote board?
Yeah, kind of like that. Yeah.
Is this
highlights of things
are
and
these
stuff on the
dumb quotes?
I'm thinking like. I'm thinking like with the way I would be okay with a gun law that was like
They're quite combined.
if you were outside of a certain number of miles from your local, say, police and or response teams, then you're allowed X amount of guns per mile.
Oh, you should have it.
Like here in
Having a gun,
Hollywood,
that's okay.
This argument of like I need a gun for protecting my home. Like the cops will be here to bandage your leg that you just shot on your own. Like you shot your own leg while trying to get a perpetrator that was actually a cat. Like you'll be in the hospital before we can find whoever really broke into your house, and it's ridiculous. But the people that are that always talk about like protection of the home are usually people in rural fucking areas where it's like it would take anybody 45 minutes to find your house, to get out there and everything else like that. And in that sense, okay, I get it. You should have a shotgun.
There's an argument about it's not really about response time. If someone's trying to kill you in your house, I could see being able to protect yourself. But I mean, if you boiled it down to taking all the guns away, then it starts to get a lot easier.
Right, but I mean, no one's ever trying to take all the guns away. And I think the thing that's really weird.
No,
are
you kidding me? there are huge groups that are trying to get all the guns away.
No one's trying to take everybody's guns, bro. No one is trying to take anybody's guns. What people are trying to say is that it is exceptionally easy for the mentally disabled to get guns.
That's true. But you can't tell me that there's not a single group saying no more guns.
Those people don't have real political clout, and I would say that those people have been made into an actual boogeyman. The actual conversation that's happening is people who just want some kind of conversation to happen about gun control because you can't even have one, man. And I would say that most people are basically
take away our guns.
They're not trying to take away your guns, and they're certainly not trying to take away your guns in a rural area. But I think what happens a lot of time is that people from a rural area have never been in an urban environment. They don't know what kind of dangers that loose guns with crazy peoples can produce. So they're not even having the same conversation the rest of us are trying to have, man.
Yeah.
And that's what's frustrating.
On the other side of it, it's tough to have their conversation too, having never been in that situation.
Right.
No, but again, the thing is
it's
it's a false accusation because being from Texas and someone who supports actually talking about sane gun control, no one's trying to take away your fucking guns. No one is trying to take away your guns. But if we want to have a serious conversation about guns, most of y'all are fucking crazy and you're mentally disabled. And if we had a serious system, you wouldn't be able to own a gun because you have a fucking mental health problem. That's why you don't want someone to take your gun away because you know where that eventually leads.
I think if you're diagnosed bipolar, you probably shouldn't have a gun.
Right. And let's be honest. Of how many fucking mentally unstable people own a gun in the United States of America? That's a legitimate problem. And it gets dismissed by people saying, well, they're trying to take away our guns. No, we don't want crazy people to get guns and shoot up everybody in urban areas. That's a major thing.
I'll say living in apartments for most of my adult life. In fact, pretty much my entire adult life, I lived in apartments. Not a place for a gun. Maybe a .22. But like anything else is going to go through like 10 walls, and you know what I mean. I've seen fucking
right, and it's fucking
there was a guy who was like who was a member of this one site that I hang out on and stuff like that, where he was just sitting there like playing World of Warcraft or some shit, and heard a bang, and then a few seconds later the mirror in front of his computer just shattered, and he was like, "The fuck." And he kind of traced it back, and he saw, like, okay, a bullet hit my wall, and traced that, and it hit the corner of his desk. So his arm is here. It missed his arm by about 3 inches. And then he traced that back, and it's like, oh, that's the wall to my bedroom. Trace that back. Oh, that's the wall that connects to my neighbor's bathroom. And then goes over to his neighbor's house, and his neighbor was, like, playing Dirty Harry in the mirror. Like, how cool would I look with all these guns on me? And fucking one of them went off. Went through the mirror, through the bedroom, through the other bedroom wall, through the office wall, hit the dude's desk, bounced up and shattered the mirror. And it's one of those things where it's like, at any point in that bullet's trajectory, could have killed a person or more. You know, and it's one of those things where it's like, you shouldn't have that kind of firepower in such a confined space with not ballistics level walls. But, you know, again, you say that to people and it's like, oh, everybody's trying to take away your guns. But I think generally in, like, L.A. and stuff like that, guns are pretty well on lockdown. Like, I think you're not even allowed to have one I think you're allowed to have one like maybe in your trunk if it's locked in a case, right?
Well, I mean,
Like if you're on the way to the gun range, you're
in,
probably okay, right?
California, you can have. I'm pretty sure you can have a weapon in your car, but it must be double locked, like inside of a glove compartment. Inside, you have to have
Inside
two
inside
steps
a
to
lockbox.
get to
Inside
it.
a
Okay,
lockbox.
so it's like if I put it in a gun case that I locked and put it in my trunk, I'm cool.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm
But
not
I think-
sure that's 100%. That's
But
what
Well, I mean,
but
I'm thinking
but at
like
the
if you're
other-
gonna, if
but
I was
I'm-
gonna,
I'd
if I
probably
was gonna
just-
go to the shooting range, if I was gonna go hunting
you
or
can
whatever
get-
have you, where else could I put it?
Right, but
That's
I think
about
but
as
it
safe as
there
you're
has
gonna
to be
get.
2 steps in your way to get there.
That would be 2 steps.
I think the sound,
trunk,
yeah, I
case,
think the sound,
lock. You know,
the
Yeah, I don't
frame
know.
of
I
mind
have
of
to look it
thinking
up.
is, it's a lot harder to be, in the heat of the moment if you got to go.
right.
It's in there. Oh, key
Right.
out. I'm
That-
gonna kill this.
I think there's.
Right,
I mean,
right.
It slows
yeah.
you down,
I
I
think
don't
there's some. I mean, if there's like I think what's interesting, especially about the gun culture in America and
I
coming from
give
Texas,
everybody nunchucks.
I saw a kid
Make
with nunchucks at
motherfuckers
school
fight.
one time. That shit was terrifying.
You know what's weird
I
is
saw nunchucks.
flamethrowers are perfectly legal.
That makes sense. I believe it.
That's
If you build a flamethrower, you deserve to flame somebody. I'll give you that.
I mean,
Potato-
that'll take down a whole apartment complex right there
You
in
go
one
for
shot.
it. You go for that.
Give everyone a potato gun
There we go.
and
See,
aqua,
That's
and
solid.
I'm okay with
Aquanet to fire it.
I think the
Gun's
thing
not,
that
it doesn't work as well without the aerosol.
well, like the
anymore,
Wild
right?
West,
That's
bro. I mean, the Wild West had a stricter gun control policy than anything we have in this country, man. They were fucking hardcore. You
Don't
come to
bring your guns
you
to
come like to
town,
Dodge
don't.
City. You check your gun at city limits. There was fucking gun deposit boxes. I mean, the Wild West was very strict about this is civilization. We don't
Right.
need no fucking guns here.
People
We-
hinge on to the dumbest things in that,
Yeah.
for the gun, so everyone would talk about the Constitution over and over again. But when
Right.
it comes to other portions of the Constitution that aren't too far fetched, it's just an old document. But like when people say
Well, it's the same thing as
separation
the
of church
Bible.
or state, you can't get elected president if you don't, believe in God specifically.
Right, we have the false religious test.
It's
for
weird.
office.
Separation of
No,
church
what I'm
and state,
saying
but he's
is,
still
like,
the affirmation on the
Constitution-
Bible during
Right.
inauguration.
The Constitution, much like the Bible, there are people that go like, "This is the thing about this whole document that I believe in most above all others," and they'll trade away many of the things below it for that one thing.
I imagine that's every
And,
document ever. Like if
That's
you're,
probably so, yeah.
if you're same thing with any,
iTunes
any
terms
law.
and conditions.
Yeah, no lawyers, right? That's
Right,
the same
right.
thing. Law. Oh, here's this one thing,
Right.
and if someone can't find something in the law to prove it differently, then you probably win the case, and
mean,
vice versa.
I think what's interesting is you've got a place now when it comes to application of the law and what you're saying versus we focus on this thing above all else. You've got I think it's states like Arizona where you can bring concealed guns into bars.
Actually,
now.
no. Well, actually, the interesting thing about that, and I don't know if I got a photo last time I was there. I tend to get a photo of this every time I go. But in every bar/restaurant you go into, it's their discretion.
They can allow you to have.
And almost all of them are like, please don't.
Yeah.
Just please.
yeah.
Yeah,
And so it's interesting to see this sign that says, like, hey, could you leave your guns outside? Like, the sign's very nice. It's very polite.
Yeah, no doubt.
Which is like,
It's very,
hey,
I'm sure
hey.
it'd be very at home in like 1830s Dodge City or
Dude,
something.
Arizona, they wish there's the culture of Arizona, I should say, wishes it was still the Wild Wild West. They still got rodeos and shit. They still got
Bro, you
ghost.
don't talk to us about rodeos, man.
They
Texas,
got-
we got the biggest
Arizona.
rodeos
No,
in the
there.
world.
they got
man.
ghost towns. They got your rodeos. They got concealed weapons. We got a sheriff, Joe Arpaio, who thinks like it's punishment to put people in pink jumpsuits for prison.
Yeah, no doubt.
For like an outdoor prison. He's like, pink jumpsuits. Now you're all queers. Ha ha. Like, it's the most like juvenile, like high school bullshit. Like, yeah, but look at them. They look silly in their pink outfits. How gay are they? It's like, you're still going to get stabbed with a knife. You realize, like, if you went up and go, ha, you get shanked. I mean,
Did you
Pink
ever go to
jumpsuit
the
doesn't
rodeo?
change
Did
that.
you ever go to the Houston Livestock Show and rodeo?
well, not Houston, but the stockyards in Fort Worth are
Okay.
world.
I think
famous.
Houston's has got like the biggest.
big on the
fucking-
rodeos, yeah.
Yeah, were you a big rodeo guy back in the day?
What do you mean big? I've been to a rodeo, but I never thought about participating.
This ain't my first rodeo, son.
No, I think
Growing up
that's-
in Texas, you listen to country music.
Teddy, what's the closest you've
I think
gotten
my
to a
mom dressed me
rodeo?
in little Wranglers and
Yeah, how many?
fucking-
You get a lot of Wranglers and Dickies, and no doubt.
like when I was like 6.
Yeah.
But once I started making my own decisions,
Once I was a man.
I think I had a belt buckle with my name on it. I'm sure.
Yeah, you did. Yeah,
I
you
think
did.
actually my grandma had we had
Belt buckles.
we had
Jesus.
boots when we were babies, and my grandma had them bronzed after we grew out of them. So bronzed cowboy boots.
Fuck, man.
Nice.
That is amazing.
Killing
That
it.
is real
Now,
Texas.
Teddy, how close have you gotten to a rodeo?
Um,
What's the closest they've let you?
I got pretty deep in to the Houston Livestock Show.
Like at
rodeo.
least a block away.
I got real deep in, man. I went one time with a friend of mine. I had some real weird rodeo experiences. I went once with a friend of mine, my friend Ian Levy, back in the day. Shout out to Ian.
Did you
Michael
look like
Vincent
Darius
Levy.
Rucker with a cowboy hat? Like,
No, man. I did not have a cowboy
Okay.
hat on at the time. I don't even know what I was dressed as. I remember just being very overwhelmed at the
Right.
culture shock of everything around me. We went to the, they were.
where the white women at?
I mean, I remember just seeing the like dazzling array of belt buckles.
There you go.
Was like just I was like, damn, like I just like on people and then for sale.
What?
And at the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo, where like we just like they had like all the trade fairs and stuff. I mean, it's huge. I think it's like the world's biggest rodeo. So we just.
Wouldn't be surprised.
But I mean, come on, you guys don't know about the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo, baby. It's the biggest rodeo in the world. It's huge. It was in the Astrodome. It's the fucking like half roping and shit. The shit was wild, man. And people were just cheering and going nuts. And I'm like, the fuck is happening right now, man? And then
Like,
the
I'm
concert,
not getting anywhere near any of them.
I don't know. We had the concert. It was a country music concert, and all I remember is that so many fireworks went off that I had the worst headache in my entire life that night. I took so many aspirin. I was just devastated by the.
How old
finale.
were you?
Shit. I would have been in like. I would have been no older than like 10 years old. I would have been like 7 or 8 years old, maybe.
I used to have to cover my ears
that's
for
pretty young.
fireworks. Like
That's
I'd
pretty young.
I'd put my
If it-
hands over both ears.
Especially in a
probably till I was
dome.
like 11 or something.
Them firing off fireworks in there is
Astrodome, bro.
loud.
Dude, it was just like a fucking. I mean, it was like fucking. Just.
No, I can
It was
imagine.
outrageous, man. I have never experienced a headache like that
And
before in my
children's
life.
Tylenol doesn't do shit.
No, so I definitely had that regular Tylenol. I was like, y'all motherfuckers need to come
Tylenol
up with real.
PM.
Yeah, y'all need to. I don't know if it was existed yet, but I was like, y'all need to bring out that real strong prescription shit. Open the medicine cabinet. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying.
yeah. So Billy, what threw you to San Diego?
The Navy.
Is that that's where they landed, and you were like, yeah, this is a good place.
No, they gave me some options of places to go, and San Diego stuck out to me because
They like picked you up in
I heard it
Texas,
was
dropped you
fucking
off
awesome.
10 years later in San Diego, and you went like, yeah, that's cool. I'm staying here.
I got lucky as shit.
All
I
right.
never got luckier in my life.
What's your? So what was the thing about San Diego that you were like, I dig this spot. It's cool.
Have you been to San Diego?
I've been to San Diego
Yeah.
a few times.
You know.
Yeah.
You know. It's hard to describe.
A lot of hippies and college kids.
Yeah.
It's a big city. I think there's 1.3 million people there, but it has this small town vibe.
It's a very traditional vibe to San Diego.
And it's not like
Hippies.
everyone would think for them. I mean, when I go back to Texas, people are like, "Oh, yeah, the surfer." No worries.
Yeah. San Diego would be very at home in Texas, I would say, in some ways.
Well,
certain
they don't
parts
like
of Texas.
every person, every Republican.
Certain-
San Diego is
yeah.
I mean, especially if you're Southern Baptist, San Diego would be border of hell.
Yeah.
Gay people,
There's some, although
they'd
it was
lose their
Republican.
mind.
Maybe like more like
It
San
was-
Francisco, no?
It was Republican controlled for a long time. The mayor actually just
San
can't remember his-
Francisco would be even worse, but
Yeah, but San Diego just
San Diego has a large gay community, probably one of the largest. It's probably, everyone knows Hillcrest, West Hollywood, and then Castro District,
yeah.
San Francisco.
Right.
But, I mean, I think a lot of big cities have that. I think Dallas probably has one of the smaller ones, but
Yeah, Dallas is
bigger cities are always more progressive. Bigger
Right.
groups of people coming together.
I think
Yeah.
San Diego.
Houston has a
Must
lesbian.
be like, you know what? I don't
And
like
East
them
Parker.
queers,
What
but
up in East
Steve
Parker?
and Dave next door, all right. You know what I'm saying?
No,
So
San
that's
Diego's
just
just
what
beautiful.
happens when you're.
It's
in a big
beautiful.
city.
It's a
There's-
great town, man.
There's everything to
lovely.
do.
Have you? I went to.
It's a tourist spot, if
yeah.
you think about it.
It's the fucking museums that they have there. Where like I can't remember.
And
what-
Balboa Park.
Yeah, which oh my god,
Art,
it's like
photography. They got the aerospace
dude,
museum.
They have the History of Man
Get
Museum.
a soda.
They have just
gonna zone
the
out for like 5
craziest
minutes here.
array of fucking museums in San Diego. If you love museums, just
Which I
go
don't.
to San. You just shut up then. If you love museums, just go spend a weekend at Balboa Park and just fucking take. You could spend you get like the pass and you can hit up all the different museums. and stuff,
Every
man.
Tuesday, there's one of them free.
Yeah, dude.
So they rotate through all of them.
It's fucking
It's
Balboa
not
Park
just.
is-
I know.
is
It's
tremendous.
funny how we're talking about museums for San Diego, but museums probably is not even close to the best thing about San Diego. I think the number one thing it's probably some of the prettiest girls on the planet. I think some magazines had someone rated it the 8th fittest city in the United States.
I'm gonna take museums over bitches any day of the week. Thank you very much.
Are you?
All right.
I am.
The beaches.
I'm on Billy's side on this one.
Fuck all
As you
y'all.
might imagine.
Fuck all y'all. Looks like the museums is gonna be a little less crowded for me. Excuse me, you got elbow room.
No,
Hot girls
museums
in
are
a museum,
great
too.
excuses. A museum's a great excuse. Hey, baby, let's go to the museum.
And now
But
the comedy scene's great down there too.
I hear. I haven't
There's
been.
There's 5 comedy.
There's
clubs.
always a lot of really good.
Now,
comics from San
are
Diego
you
coming.
living out there still, or are you living out here? Are you just visiting out here? What's it? Are you
I
just,
live in
did
West
you
Hollywood.
drive up here to? Oh, okay. So you're in
Yeah.
West Hollywood now. Good place. Good place.
But I get a
Yo,
lot of
what
work
up?
down there, so I spend a couple of days, a week down there. I do some weekends down there.
Nice.
This past weekend was awesome. Jeff Garland.
That's
Good
all right,
times.
yeah.
But there's a new place down there called the American Comedy Company. It just opened. It's great. And then there's the Madhouse Comedy Club, the Comedy Palace, and the Comedy Store La Jolla. You know, the comedy store here.
Right.
They have a sister club in San Diego. So
Yeah.
there's 4 comedy clubs, and there's plenty of work down there.
It's
It's
always
kind of bad to leave and come up here and have to grind out.
Yeah, it's weird when
It's
you
one of
really
those,
talk
they
to
don't have
San
enough
Diego
comics
comics when
that-
they come down here because
Not enough comics to fill the.
There are, but it's just it's easier to stand out. So
Right.
in Los Angeles, there's
Which
the
is why-
funny thing about Los Angeles, there's like 3,000 comedians, but some of them are doing comedy because their agent was like, "Hey, you should try stand up."
Which is like
You should
about
try-
half of them at least.
Yes.
At bare minimum, half of the people who call themselves comedians are actors who are trying to expand their resume.
If you've ever heard like the duel between the LA guys and like the New York guys,
Yeah.
the New York comedians, if you ever listen to all those podcasts, they're the
Yeah.
they're the purists,
Right.
and they think everyone in LA is just terrible. And
Yeah.
then I don't know what it goes both ways, but LA is just tough. And I'm not
yeah.
hating on anyone who's
Well,
like
the
actor
argument
slash
the argument I
comedian.
will give to New York is that New York and Boston to that extent are like those tear you up kind of towns. You know what I mean? You can't
Chew
just
you up,
get up there and
spit
be
you
like,
out.
okay, so I'm gonna tell a couple of jokes. It's like, get off the stage, you queer. And you're like, okay, I'm sorry. I just brought my notes and I just rip you a new asshole. Where the LA crowds are not, as I've been given to understand. I mean, I only have experience really here. I've done like 2 gigs in New York, and they were not that rough at all. But the difference, I guess, is that they're more interactive in New York, and like in LA, they don't really say stuff. They'll just walk away. They'll just go like, "Well, I'm going home now." But like in New York,
Well,
I guess they get pissed.
people heckle to be cute in LA.
Yeah,
Which
yeah.
is in New York they'll heckle you because they don't think you're good.
Yeah, and they want the next guy or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
They
Well, I think that in New York, when there's less of a entertainment industry, it's not. There, Comedy Central's there, blah blah, so forth and so
You've
on.
got
but
Gotham and all that
this
stuff
is
going on.
movie city,
Yeah, and I think
so actors and actresses. But
Right.
in New York, if you want to be a comedian, most of the people in your peer group also just want to be comedians.
well,
Maybe
yeah, that's the
aspire
thing.
to be actors
That's
one
yeah,
day.
that's the best point.
And
about
if
it.
you're good, it's more nurturing. I heard there.
Yeah, no,
in
you're
LA,
absolutely right. I mean, I think that's the thing. If you look at sort of the history of both comedy scenes, respectively, a lot of people who are or work in New York or at least somewhat more East Coast are people who sort of got into comedy for the actual craft of being a comedian, for actually shaping jokes,
Yeah.
for putting together an actual longer body of work. Whereas you feel a lot of times out here in LA, it really is just people being as though, well, if I can say I am a comedian, then I can get X many auditions.
it's a resume bullet.
Exactly. I get this many auditions.
right.
I can get this gig in.
I took my. I
It's,
did
it's
my,
an easy way to grift, bro.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
an easy grift.
I
And-
took my
and-
improv classes. I
Yeah.
do stand up.
Right. Everything
What
is
else do
very
I have?
surface level comedy.
I got
mean,
my
I
own
can-
stuff on YouTube. Everyone just it's
I
a
can,
resume thing.
I can absolutely understand that level of disdain that New York comedians feel for
Yeah.
LA.
The
It makes
difficult,
it- I
the
can-
difficult part with any situation where you're not just talking about generalizations, but when you're talking about like scenes and stuff like that, is it like the thing that people kind of tend to forget? It's like you're acting like everyone is a-okay with it being that way. Like there are definitely just in this room even just want to be comedians, and there are plenty of those in the scene. It's sort of a fish out of water because there's not as many of those around.
Right.
But it's frustrating when
Well,
you're
you don't
like,
get-
I
you
don't
don't get
want
the
to go.
platforms, you
I don't
know?
want to uproot my life and fucking go to New York just to do comedy. I can do it here. And it's like, oh, you're just out there trying to get an acting gig. It's like, no, I'm trying to do
Oh,
stand up.
there are
You know,
definitely
it's
exceptions. Anthony Jeselnik started in Los Angeles.
yeah. And I do think that there is that thing where it's like you're not truly. I feel like they don't really respect you in the same way. Like the stand-up comedy world doesn't really have a respect for you until you've kind of rocked New York pretty well.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
yeah, there's plenty of T.J. Miller. T.J. Miller.
But he's an alt comic. I don't know if that counts.
No, there's no such thing as alt. That's
Where
such
we
a.
gonna go?
It's just
No,
a word.
what I'm
the
saying,
throwing- I
like-
mean, if you look at the alt scene specifically, imagine.
Would
so the
you?
alt
Would you?
scene-
Do you think that like Opie and Anthony and Jim Norton and stuff like that, if T.J. Miller was the topic of discussion, they would be kind to him?
Well, no, but they're different. That's not their thing.
No, but I'm
Is he
saying like when I
talented?
think
Hold on a
of
second,
like
wait. Let's
when I
see.
think of like the
Jim
gate.
Norton would be an alternative comedian. If you think about what would be mainstream, so super mainstream, Jim Norton talks about fucking trannies. What's more alternative than being?
I'll give you that. I'm just thinking of like
Opie and Anthony
when I
are
think of
great,
like the
too.
gatekeepers of New York comedy, not like your Jerry Seinfelds and stuff like that. I think of just pretty much regulars on Opie and Anthony would be the gatekeepers of New York comedy.
Yeah,
I feel like if you don't have their kind of blessing, there's the feeling that you're just fucking around in L.A. trying to be an actor.
yeah, but for them specifically,
Right. But I'm saying that the vibe throughout, I don't know so much the comedy world, but the vibe in the entertainment world was sort of it feels that way.
They're
It
not
feels like
the sign-off
when they
point.
when they downplay it as like, oh, this is just alt comedy or something like that. You're relegated to the alt comedy clubs. I don't think that you're going to see a Joe Rogan and T.J. Miller dual headliner show.
No, but I mean, someone could classify Joe Rogan as alt.
Yeah, probably so, but he would be.
By the
he
same-
got the pass. Look, I'm with you on the alt thing. I'm not trying to push the alt thing. I'm merely saying like the comics who are at home at UCB, which Joe Rogan has said he doesn't feel at home at UCB, and I'd probably be the same thing. I wouldn't feel right there. Like I feel like they'd be too like, oh, this is too like dirty. I don't know what it is. I wouldn't feel weird. I would feel like I'm not esoteric or whatever enough for the UCB crowd, whatever it might be. T.J. Miller like is at home there. Patton Oswalt, Doug Benson, things like this. Certainly Zach. Why is it killing me? Zach Galifianakis. You know, they're at home at UCB. Like UCB would just blow them the whole time they're up on stage. But like if you threw them on, Opie and Anthony, they're gonna they'd be butting some heads. Or really, just if Opie and Anthony was even talking about them. And I'm not saying that they're the gatekeepers. I'm just saying the vibe, the sense you get from people who are invested in the New York comedy scene is like, unless you've done your due diligence, if you will, in New York, there's like, oh, well, then you're just in those like froofy alt clubs where nobody heckles, because the UCB is such a heavenly fucking place because there is no heckling,
man.
and people will follow you to your bitter end of whatever you're trying to explore. They'll let you do that. But if you go to a nightclub in New York, nobody's gonna let you do.
You know what I
that.
feel like it is, and this is totally probably going to be very different for you, Mitch. But stay with me, okay? It's a lot like, in a sense, with college football.
God damn it!
Hold on now, and the BCS, okay, where you've got like all
What's
the
a
fucking,
BCS?
it's the fucking championship, right? It's the national championship.
What's it
okay?
stand for?
Bowl championship series. So
Oh.
you've got the bowl games.
Okay.
People go play the bowl
Okay.
games. Get a
Sugar
champion.
Bowl.
Mitch checked out of sports around like 95, so like we try and make it real, try and reel him in a little bit every day at a time.
91.
Okay, sorry, my bad.
Bowls, like Sugar Bowl. I know about a
essentially-
Sugar
all right,
Bowl.
so it's a real life situation right now because you have all these
Rose Bowl.
You have these lower
a
schools,
thing.
exactly right. Those are all in the BCS. You got these lower mid-major schools, if you will, who are competing against powerhouse schools like fucking Florida, Oklahoma, Texas, okay, Notre Dame, USC, the real big boys, the elite of the elite. They all compete all the time for the
Quick
BCS.
sub note.
Yes.
Quick sub question. The Ivy League schools, their college teams.
Not
nobody
in
gives-
this. This is not.
No,
Not
I'm
in this
saying, like,
conversation.
nobody gives a shit about those. Like, are
No,
they,
no
are they
one cares.
considered shitty
No one
teams?
cares. No one cares.
Okay, I was
no one
wondering
cares
that.
about
It
that.
always
They have
seemed
no bearing in
interesting.
this conversation.
Okay,
They have
all
no
right,
bearing.
I always thought they would.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Listen.
Always confused me.
They have
All
no
right,
bearing
right.
here.
Okay.
Listen.
Okay.
So you've got all these major schools, right? They're the
Right.
fucking. That's where the cock of the walks. Everyone respects.
Are you
them.
following this, Billy?
Yeah, I
Uh,
don't really care for college football, but
yeah. Billy.
I understand it.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Especially
Really just
Texas
lose
is a
everybody
big-
on this analogy, but let's
All right.
see if we can power through this.
So this year, Northern Illinois, the Northern Illinois Huskies, a small school in the MAC conference that no one really cares about, okay, has crashed the BCS by rule of these rules that were set up to basically avoid an antitrust lawsuit for the NCAA. So Northern Illinois qualifies, and ESPN basically just shits on them for having the audacity to qualify based on the rules. You know what I'm saying? They're like, well, they played all these shitty schools or whatever. Like the schedule sucks this and the schedule sucks that. And it's that sense of like, well, there's a lot of different ways that you could look at their climb over the last few years to respectability, and the fact that they finally have a chance to go into this real match with the big boys and actually prove themselves. But you take this incredibly dismissive attitude of everything, you know, as opposed to being like, this is a really nice accomplishment. Maybe they can actually build on this and we can see something. And there's like, fuck you. There's no way you should even be here right now. Why are we even wasting our time with this shit? And I feel like that's a little bit of what happens with New York comics towards LA comics, where the skepticism and the cynicism to prove yourself sometimes is that just like, all right, well, like maybe you got here because you're kind of good. Let's see what you got, versus being like, just get the fuck out of here. Like, why are you even fucking here?
Yeah, absolutely.
Is that fair?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I still tuned out, but I think I got the most of it. Billy, where are you at on this? Have you gone to the East Coast at all?
Yeah, I only did 2 shows in New York, but I've been doing comedy for 5 years, and I've only really heard about the rivalries between L.A. and New York. But I mean, I've seen it kind of
just like the Navy thing. It's only one way. I don't think that L.A. comics hate New York.
Well, they don't have a reason to, and that's why New York comics hate them so much, I feel like, you know?
I think that in comedy in general,
we're the
as
Navy
a group,
of the comedy scene.
When you pass a certain level, imagine, so comedy is this big group of people, right? And some are doing really well. There's people in the middle. There's people touring the country right now you've never heard of, making a couple $100,000 a year doing college shows. You probably never heard of them. They're not on TV.
Sure.
But, I don't know. I think the people at the bottom are the ones that bitch the most. I think that if you're in the middle and you go higher, those type of people just respect people that are funny. And you can see groups of people coming together that are just like, remember that show that they did for a little while? It was like Jerry Seinfeld, Ricky Gervais, Chris Rock, and they sat down and talked about
it
it.
was a one-time thing. Yeah, it was the HBO
One-off
special.
thing,
With Louis C.K.
Talking
as well,
funny.
too.
Talking funny.
Yeah,
that was
like
great.
5 guys. Every one of those guys is different. But guess what? Every one of them in their line were at the top of their game.
Right.
And they're all sitting there
What?
mutually going,
Yeah.
and they all respect each other. Like Louis C.K. used to write for Chris Rock back in the day, and now Louis C.K. is Chris Rock level.
Yeah. Well, Chris Rock is now making cameos on Louis C.K.'s sitcom now. you know?
Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah.
Louis C.K. and Chris Rock are not the same type of comedian.
Not at
Jerry
all.
Seinfeld, Ricky Gervais. Who's the other guy on there?
I think it was.
There's 5
I think it was
dudes?
the 4.
I thought it was just
I
the
think it was the
4.
4. I think it was just the 4. Of them.
Anyway,
There's a 5th guy. I'm gonna feel
Because it was
like a real
before
dick.
Seinfeld got the comedy award that they had going on. I think it was the same.
No,
year.
no.
No,
that
was
was
it?
before.
Was that before?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was with Robert.
I think
what's
you've
his name?
made it past the point where you're scared you're not going to make money at comedy, like I am right now. Like I don't have a job. Comedy's my only job,
Right.
so I make less than minimum wage doing exactly what I want to do in random places.
Right.
And sometimes the shows are better than others, but once you get past that, you can't hate on anyone anymore. Like Jerry Seinfeld is a billionaire basically because of Seinfeld syndication.
Right.
His net worth's like $800 million.
Yeah.
What is? I doubt even when he was struggling, he was like, "Man, fuck that guy." But you know what I'm saying? Like, there's a bunch of sense.
It's definitely there's a
Once
lot
you
of
fucking-
that silly jealousy, but I think
That
that
made it
there
you-
is a weird thing that just in any field, in any place, and it's not specific to comedy, it's not specific to L.A. or New York or whatever. There is always that feeling for somebody who took what they feel like longer than usual to get not much respect at the level they're at.
Oh, yeah.
See somebody who's barely done anything getting more respect. Nothing sends people into a fucking bigger blind rage than that.
But not every person.
No,
There's
but I'm
people that
just
just hang out and are like, like I'm passive about everything.
right. But you're also not. You haven't been in the game for 40 years and watching.
But
some
I know. But say I've been
whippersnapper.
in the game 5 years. Say I've seen someone doing better than
I mean,
me.
if you think about like if you listen to WTF, right, with Mark Maron,
Yeah, I
like
do.
if you listen to certainly the first like 100 episodes of the fucking thing, like the early before that, even the first like 50 episodes, there is such a level of like I've worked my ass off for 40 years on this fucking thing, and nobody even knows who I am. I'm fucking ready to give it all up. And everybody who he had on there, he was like apologizing to for just shitting on, and he still shit on him. For the first, 30 or 40 episodes, he was still shitting on anybody who came on the show out of this jealousy and things like that. And very much to your point, but that's the feeling that people have. It's like, oh, I did this again in New York.
Yeah, I know the exact feeling, but
New
it's
York,
not every
thankfully,
single
I mean,
person.
Yeah, no doubt.
to their credit, I mean, what's nice is that you can in New York, if you're like, I'm gonna try out comedy, you can do 10 shows in a night, no problem. You can go up and down the road and do 5 minutes here, an open mic there, and whatever. In LA, you don't. I mean, we're too
you
much.
could do
too
a
much
bunch of open
provincial.
mics, but you're just performing in a bunch of
There's people
venues
in
for
coffee
comedians.
shops.
There's
Yeah.
people in New York that kill it, so like doing premium shows 10 a night. But I mean, anyone
Right.
else, once you get to a certain point, like
I just
Louis
say that
CK
the opportunity is more so there to get like you could do 100 shows the first 3 months that you're doing comedy in New York, whereas out in LA,
if you
that'll
have
take
a
you a
name
while.
already.
No, you could. I mean, I'm not talking about like you headline. I'm just talking you could get on a show. You know,
You
what
can-
I mean?
you- it's
You
a-
could
there's a
get-
greater
you could
chance
get
to work
into
your-
the lineup somewhere.
Work your chops.
Dude,
Do 5
I know.
minutes.
It took me 3 months to set up 2 shows in New York.
Yeah.
They're very. I mean, it's the same thing about stage time. That's their stage.
Yeah.
What
I mean,
can
it's
you
also
give me
you're
when
coming
I come
from here to there is a bit different story.
But yeah,
than
you're
if you,
saying
if you
your
were like,
first 3
if
months
you were
in-
living there, if you were living there,
after 2 years maybe of grinding out.
if you
and getting
just
your
no,
name
I'm
out
saying
there.
like I'm not talking about fucking Carolines. I'm just talking about throughout New York, throughout a very small section of New York, you could go up and down. There's probably a lot of smaller comedy clubs or a smaller like an open mic or something like that. That's a slightly upscale open mic even.
Yeah, eventually. Once you get,
I don't know.
It's
I
the
mean,
same
look,
thing. It's the same mingle thing as in L.A. L.A. doesn't have as much as New York because it's not as pop. I mean,
It's not
New
as many
York's-
turfs kind of carved out. I feel like
New
as well,
York's
though.
just such a big city,
Yeah.
consolidated. L.A.'s pretty spread out, agreeable.
Well, I mean, yeah, LA is a city state essentially. Yeah.
Yeah,
we,
but you
we-
go to
we are
Manhattan
having that.
where
We are
there's-
having that. We're just now kind of getting to the point where, as a city, people know that there's more than just 2 comedy clubs. You know what I mean? That's the hardest part, or 3 comedy clubs, I should say. Comedy Store, Laugh Factory, and Improv. When you talk to the average person in LA, oh, I do some stand-up comedy. They're like, oh, so you perform at like the Laugh Factory, Comedy Store, Improv, and you're like, yeah, but I mean that's not what I'm talking about. Like to them, that's all of comedy. That's all of LA.
Right.
Is those 3 clubs. To your average individual, there's 3 clubs. Whereas I think that if you talk to the average person in New York, they could name 10 comedy clubs off the top of their head. I don't know. Maybe not. It's just my theory.
Yeah, but say, I mean, there's other shows, but I mean, I was looking up the lineup to go there and see shows, and imagine like a club where their Tuesday night is Jim Norton, Dave Attell, like 9
Right.
headliners on a
Right,
Tuesday.
yeah.
It's like, oh, can I pop off 8 minutes? No, you can't.
Yeah.
Here's my
Yeah,
video. There's a Anthony Jeselnik.
They all
talked
live
about-
across the street, though. So
He
it's,
had
you know.
to break in there too, so because he started in L.A. and he had to break in New York. But dude, once you get that one thing, it's the same thing in anywhere. I think once you get a big thing,
Yeah,
then
once
you're
you get a thing.
automatically
Once you
like
get
in
a
L.A. It'd be hard to break into the Comedy Store right without having any credits. But if you pop off some weird credit, then they're like, here you go. Same thing
yeah,
with the improv.
you've gotta
Yeah,
gotta get some one thing that at least warrants people being or people looking at. All right, let's give you a little attention.
That gives you it gets you it a
Right.
little faster, but
Right.
grinding out and doing a bunch of random shows everywhere and people starting to
man.
know you're funny, then man, that works better than
Yeah,
having it and no one talks
yeah.
shit.
I've always really been partial to the old fashioned fucking method of just
Hanging out.
just fucking banging it out and paying your dues and just working in the fucking shadows and
Yeah,
just
absolutely,
learning.
yeah.
And I think it's really weird, I guess, to see kind of a whole culture that worships overnight celebrities and just Insta celebrities or whatever, because it is kind of the total antithesis of what comedy is all about as a craft. If you really break down the people who are, the sort of pinnacles of what we look to all throughout the craft is people who just spent an entire long time of their life toiling and working on ideas, and then they just perform them and perform them and perform them, and then finally people kind of were like, oh well, let's pay a little more attention to this, and then it kind of blew up, And I think that's the thing about comedy, where I fully understand that sense of, if you can't just craft a joke for yourself because there's this part of you that says, I can't have any kind of like anything resembling peace or sanity or just coherency unless I solve this kind of riddle inside of my head right now. I got to figure this larger thing out that I'm trying to articulate. Then that's kind of where the craft just keeps going, I feel like. And I don't know. I mean, I think it's interesting that the talk funny thing that you mentioned 3 out of 4 of those guys are New York comics who all kind of came up around the same time at each other, you know.
Yeah.
And Pootie Tang, people don't realize, was written by Louis C.K.
Yeah.
Directed by Louis C.K.
He
and
hates it.
And I fucking love that movie so much,
I
man.
know, it's so funny.
It's one of my absolute favorites. But
You ever hear him talk about it?
I've never heard him talk too much about it.
I will say that there's a comedy forum for like, it was like kind of the alt comedy forum where all the alt comics used to hang out. And there was a couple threads where like once a year Louis C.K. would hang out in a thread for like the whole year, and there'd be the Louis C.K. question and insult thread. So they'd ask him a question, he'd answer it, and then he'd insult them. Which was a lot of fun. Or he'd be like, "Hey, thanks for that. By the way, your mother's got AIDS," you know, like stuff like that.
He does that on his Twitter.
Yeah, exactly. So he had this. There was somebody had asked about Pootie Tang, and he said, "You know, I was at a deli or something the other day, and I saw a kid with the Pootie Tang hat, and I turned to him and I said, 'Are you fucking wearing that shit ironically?'" And he's like, "No, I love this movie." He's like, "There's no way you actually love that movie." He's like, "No, I totally do." And he goes, "I fucking wrote that, you know." And then like he walked out.
It's one of my absolute favorite movies, man. It's so fucking It's so gold, man. I don't even know if he knew how fucking brilliant it was when he was putting it together, but it stands the test of time so much better every time you watch it. It's so good.
It's so funny that's a thing.
Yeah.
All right, I'm moving along to some news action here. Gosh, where should I go first? Well, I could talk about New York real quick, the latest thing that happened in New York.
We got to say goodbye to our shot of
New York City
Bye, William.
celebrates
0-1 Bonnell.
Sure, dog.
New York City celebrates a day without crime. No violent crime in a 24-hour period. The first time that's happened in living memory. So what are we saying? 80 years? 90 years?
Damn, son. No,
one day. Which, by the way, I feel like you probably shouldn't like put that on the headline of the paper and stuff like that, because all the violent criminals are like, "Oh shit, did we sleep in?"
Yeah, right. Yo,
Man,
somewhere, some dude is laughing
triple the next day.
Like, I got away with like 6 robberies that day. These motherfuckers don't even know.
That's true, I guess. I don't know how you come down on it. Like, we just didn't find any that day.
Like, I feel like it's
none
definitely
got called in.
So, like, no one reported a crime, a violent crime. That's what we're saying.
Yeah, violent crime. It's not like
not a
no
murder,
crime.
shooting, stabbing, or violent crime. Okay, all right, that's fair. So the dude with the purse snatching he's not really relevant right now.
Yeah. It says just a few months ago, residents were living through what one tabloid newspaper called the Summer of Blood. So really,
yikes!
It's
one tabloid newspaper.
New York Post, guarantee you.
Yeah, probably.
Guarantee it's the Post.
Tabloid.
But I mean, just thinking like if there was so much violence that you're calling it the Summer of Blood, can you really celebrate? Like, all right, one day nobody died. Woo woo!
You gotta build somewhere, bro.
I guess you got to start somewhere. That's very much true.
No one getting murdered in New York. That's a have a party. Did they have a cake? I bet they had a cake.
Yeah, right.
No violent crime.
Can we shut down Times Square
and
the next day?
Captain of the police force cut it with like a cutlass, and they dressed in their dress blues. You know how when something bad, a cop gets killed, there's like that black stripe.
Oh man!
This day, no black stripes, guys.
There's been a 9% increase in larceny, which police blame on a surge in smartphone thefts. Killings are down 23% compared to last year, which represents a 50-year low. There have only been 366 murders so far this year in New York City, compared with 472 at this time last year.
Okay.
And this was on 29th of November. So a little more than one dead person a day.
My question:
366 murders in 11 months.
So what happens if retroactively we discover that a violent crime occurred on said day that we triumphantly held up as a day?
Oh, yeah. Imagine if there's a missing person that turns out to have been killed on that day. The body's found in the park.
Yeah, I don't know. I was wondering that myself.
Retractions. The retractions.
I think it goes for
too
like
bold, New York.
You're too bold. They were saying like nothing was reported today for a violent crime.
It's such a dubious. It's dubious celebration, though. It really is. Like again,
only the BBC would take the time out to be like, all right, today in New York.
No, I feel like I saw that
killed.
floating around a couple other places that day.
I bet this is a story written to say,
come back to New York.
The cops in New York are doing a good job. At the same time, where there's a parallel story saying that the cops in New York are corrupt
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
and have a quota. You heard that?
Yeah.
All the quota videos.
I guarantee.
Well, that was
son.
the whole thing about this was that it says some experts are praising the New York Police Department's aggressive crime protection, notably the so-called stop and frisk policy.
I knew it. I
But
was about to
critics
say
are arguing
you motherfuckers are racist.
that all that
you
does
racist
is just make it
motherfuckers.
worse.
What are
This
they
shit
called?
is bullshit. It's a stop and
250s?
frisk. Stop and frisk, bro.
The
How you gonna tell me that all you do is stop and frisk brown people? You motherfucking racist.
All right.
Well, they do look the scariest.
Well, how's that? It's all them hoodies. So the U.S. birth rate has declined 8% in the last 4 years.
Your eyes
which
really
is-
sold that one, Billy. Your eyes really sold that.
It's because I'm from Texas.
It's
I can see the prairie fear in your eyes.
it turns out that 64 births per 1,000 women aged 15 to 44, basically, it says approaching the lowest rate since 1920 when record keeping began, and that puts us at about less than half of baby boomer totals. In the baby boomer time, it was like 140 per 1,000.
Yeah, them-
You know what I like about
now
this
we're doing
story?
a whole lot less baby making. I like that. What's
You know
up?
what I like about this story is, wait, did they answer that question? Because if they don't answer that question, that's
the
fucking
title of
hilarious.
the headline. Hold on. Nothing will drive me nuts worse than a visual joke without explanation. So,
Oh,
for the people
man.
listening,
Oh,
the
they're not
headline
getting this?
the headline was
Oh, geez.
is less sex or more abortion to blame for fall in U.S. birth rate. So that was the question you were referring to.
Do they answer that question,
I
or is
don't.
it like they're posing?
No,
the
they
que-
don't. They just.
Yeah, that's you wrote
Yeah,
the
yeah.
story. Answer the fucking.
I
Nah,
didn't write
son,
the story.
that's
but
the
Did
hook.
I just got
You
no.
never
That's
answer
not
the hook.
the hook.
You
it says it
never
right
answer
here.
the hook,
It says,
Billy.
it
Come
says it
on.
right here.
Yeah, I hope this-
Inevitably, the answer is some mishmash. A bit more caution, a few more condoms, better attention to taking the pill, maybe even less coitus or more coitus interruptus.
That's
Time
5
out.
different answers.
No, that ain't in it. Those are all fucking
That's about all I-
contradictory.
well,
Maybe.
No.
And hey, if you were a
No,
major,
it's a combine. You
I
can
know,
have a
but
combine.
if you're a major news outlet and then you say mishmash, you can kiss my dick. What is mishmash?
It's a.
Oh,
would
marshmallow
you
hash
prefer
patch.
you prefer a conglomeration, a combination,
It's a
a
marshmallow
casserole?
hatchback. I would definitely.
It's a casserole.
I'm fucking
Caution.
using that. That's my new slang, bro. You get that old marshmallow hatch patch out my face. Job, turkey.
Excuse me, I speak Jap. It's gotta. You can't interview all the people who didn't have kids and go, why?
Of course you can.
Sample
Why?
size.
Why?
It's
Why did you
what
not
is
have
it?
more
Isn't that
children?
a statistician? A
Yeah, right.
statistician?
That's
Don't they do
basic math.
that?
This
You
is
get a sample size, and then you
the one that people have been talking
I
about.
spoke with 4 women.
The one that people have been talking about for years is that they've been talking about, like, when they talk about like teen sex rates, not just teen pregnancy. The one that they talk about for years has been just because of the internet. Like, guys are like, they fucking jerk off at home and then like, I don't need a girlfriend. I'm fucking good. I'm play some video games, jerk off, and I'm fucking,
I always
you know
thought
what I mean?
about that as an adult who's never ever had to go into one of those places and rent a porno.
Yeah,
How
yeah.
good we got it. It's
Yeah,
not a bit.
right.
adult
No,
video
I'm
stores
with
are
you.
I
shameful.
watched one of your episodes and you're
Walk
telling a
of
guy don't
shame.
do bits. I said that like it was a bit. I've never said that.
No,
No,
it's
no,
fine.
it's good. It's great.
quite all right.
It's
Look,
this
I'm
shameful.
straight riffing.
Yeah, there you go.
Riffing.
There you go.
I've never said that in my life. But that is a walk of shame.
Dude.
No, do you know what that
It's just
The
it's
shameful-
way easier these days. You can
have you ever
whatever
been
you're
inside of
into,
one of
no
those?
matter how fucked up it is. And the thing that I think that with
No,
the
I've
internet,
never.
where the internet bites you, where it's a cruel mistress that
How
bites
old
you in
are
the
you?
ass, is that you start out just going like,
about
look, I just need to watch a little, like, masturbation, some chick rubbing herself, maybe a little blowjob porn. I'm into a little, and you clicking around. It's like, what, 2 dicks? She's got all right, I'll take 2 dicks. Fine. 5 dicks is fine. And then it's like, all right, 5 dicks in her mouth, 2 in her ass, 1 in her. And now it's like, okay, now I'm just watching someone just get trilled open, and then you related video, and you're like, wait, 6 aliens are fucking her in the nose hole, and she's throwing up on this guy's balls.
Yeah,
and
you
like,
could have a
after a
life-
while, you very quickly are like, well,
I think-
now nothing can do it, and now you have to go find like
here's the
the
thing.
internet is a lifetime
interracial
of sexual
clown porn, just
exploration
to,
in a month.
That's
How
genius.
deep
That's
do you want to
genius.
go?
That's
yeah,
genius.
yeah,
The
yeah,
internet is a
fucks you
lifetime
up.
of sexual exploration in a month.
I have
That's what the
seen.
boy-
No, I've seen chicks shoot
that's
live
great.
eels out of their pussies.
No,
I've
dude,
seen,
the pinnacle is still the same things. I
saw
know
a
it's
chick
hack to
get
say.
fucked by a dildo that was powered by a firecracker. That was a good time. Using like one of those bottle rockets on the end of a dildo, so it like fucked her really good. So they just kept firing off bottle rockets, so it would fuck her again. So
I think. You know what's weird is it's kind of like old and like outdated to say Mr. Hands. Are you familiar with this? Mr. Hands?
Go on.
are we talking about Goatsy?
No, Goatsy, also classic.
All right,
Is that
all
the
right.
dude with the?
Spread open butthole.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Meat
not
spin?
Goatsy. No,
Meat spin, yeah, I know about
Meat
meat spin, yeah.
I know Meat spin.
That's
Dude.
meatspin.com.
Lemon Party,
It does-
dog.
Lemon Party was
Lemon
great.
Party.
Lemon Party was
Listen,
good.
I mean, we're getting older, but like it's hard at Tub Girl. Remember that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course,
Dude,
Tub Girl.
you-
Sure.
First time you got somebody with Tub Girl, that was that was real. That was real good.
I
shit.
goddamn time.
I noticed that I said Mr. Hands first, and you didn't know what it is, but we'll come back to it.
I think I know what Mr.
Mr.
Hands.
Hands is
Maybe.
probably the absolute worst thing that you could ever think of.
I think I know that's.
Well, then go ahead.
I'll
Tell
allow
me,
you
and
to
I'll tell
guess.
you if I might know by a different name. So go ahead.
Is that the dude with
Death
the horse?
Death by Horsecock.
That's the zoo documentary.
Oh yes. I didn't know it was called
Not
Mr.
the
Hands, but
documentary,
yes,
kid.
Yes.
No,
I'm talking about
yeah,
the video.
Zoo-
of
video,
Zoo
but
is
the
yeah,
documentary Zoo is
Documentary's about
based on
Mr. Hands,
the
yeah,
Mr.
yeah.
Hands. It's a
Yes,
documentary.
I didn't know his name was Mr.
Yeah,
Hands.
baby.
Yeah,
I am
know about the
aware of
horse
all
fucking.
internet traditions.
Yeah, but if you think about those things, that's
But what predates that is when I was like fucking like 16 or something like that. One of the first fucking weird ass goddamn things I saw on the internet, or maybe it was 17.
How old
was
are
it? Was it? I'm 34, so
27.
I'm far beyond like
29.
the level of.
But I
like,
mean,
you know.
still, that's 2000. Tub Girls 2000. So that's still at the beginning.
That's a
of-
long
No, so I'm
time
saying
away,
like
though.
I'm talking about like 97.
Right.
Like
Right.
I was making
When the-
websites in 96. So
Yeah.
like, yeah, like way back. And I'm talking like one of the
That's
first
for me.
weird
Dude.
fucking.
No one at home can see that. I'm mimicking the page.
One of the
loading.
first weird fucking videos I just like, you know, when you were just trading files and you didn't know what you got until it was downloaded kind of things was a chick getting fucked by like a some kind of shaggy dog thing, and it just straight out pulling out, and she like came on her tits with it, and it was just like I just remember going like I don't know what kind of world I've walked in here, but
Yeah.
I
It's
like,
really the first time you go in that world, bro.
if
Ain't
I
no
would
coming
have,
back,
a
son.
ghost of me should have appeared. A ghost of me from the future should have
No
appeared
coming
next to me and
back.
like put a hand on my shoulder and said, "It doesn't get any better. It just gets worse.
Yeah, it just gets worse.
And there's going to be more of it, and this will become not that weird to you.
It's gonna be so bad, bro.
Think about where you are right now.
You know what I
because,
like
you
about
know,
that? It's there is a point where it
there is no turning back once
there's
you click that next.
desensitized, but there's nothing to me that will ever be worse than knowing that guy died by horsecock.
Oh man, that's so bad.
And the sound he made it. He made
Oh, that noise.
the noise he made
Yeah,
wasn't.
yeah.
Oh, it's in there. He goes.
Listen.
The sound he made.
I know.
was
inhuman.
I
No,
know,
you know
I
what that
know.
sound is.
Hold on, say it
I've
again.
been mortally wounded.
No,
I've been mortally wounded.
had
That's
by
the
a
sound-
giant horse
no,
cock.
listen. I before I saw the Mr. Hands video, I had my friend, the diabolical Nelson Fernandez, who would always come over and, unknowns to me, download various bestiality videos onto my computer and then open them. He would do this when my mom was at home when we were hanging out in high school, and I was just like, "You were the worst friend in the world. I don't know why I can allow you to come over to my house."
'Cause it's still funny at the end of the day.
And so one time
It
he
is.
found this like
It's
it
awful
was
humor,
it was
but
this woman, I think she was like a German woman or something, and she is in a barn, and I come back into the room and it's just playing, you know, and he's just like nervously giggling while it's going on.
Yeah.
And the horse is just trying to mount her from behind, and it's just aiming, and it's missing for a while, and then all of a sudden it's in, and that noise, man.
Talking about the dude.
I'm not talking about that dude. I'm
talking
talking about
about
a
a
totally
We've been
different
over
video.
this a million times.
Totally different
He's
video.
still convinced that they're two different videos. And
It's not a dude, bro. It's a different video.
Was it in?
I know what video you're talking about. I saw that one as well.
It's not Mr.
And
Hands.
I'm pretty sure it's the same one,
It's
but I don't
not
know.
the same video.
Mr.
But they do make almost the same exact noise,
That's
and
a-
almost the exact same thing happens in both videos.
It's not the same video.
Right, but the noise is the same.
Yes.
Lord,
You know, like
It's
that weird.
so
like, yeah.
it's so like you can never escape
Yeah.
it. It's haunting.
Yeah.
mortal wound.
Mortal.
Billy looks like he's having a
Mortal,
Vietnam flashback right
Horsecock.
now. I think the beard helps too. You're like staring off in the distance. It feels
I've
like a
seen
fucking
that.
Apocalypse Now moment.
Bestiality.
I've seen that video more than once, which is the weird thing to me because once
Did you see the actual documentary about the whole thing?
no.
Zoo.
No, it's
Once
it's
you
a
see it,
fascinating-
it
you
never
should-
leaves you. So I don't even know why I needed to see it again. If there was a way that if I was artistically inclined, and I had a computer with like an animation program from memory, I could graphically recreate that. I'm 100%.
Oh man,
Oh God! It's so feel so bad laughing.
that is the
because
worst
you are
project to
just like
undertake.
I saw
you
me-
are describing such bad trauma right now. And
I saw
am so
Meat
like,
Spin so many times. Me and my friend,
God damn,
we had a
so many
challenge.
times.
It wasn't
how,
really a
how many
challenge.
meat spins can you last or whatever?
No, no. I spent a better part of 2004
Avoiding
finding
Meat Spin.
ways to get my friend to look at Meat Spin and lemonparty.org, that picture, which
Yeah,
if you
yeah,
guys
yeah.
at home don't know what it
Yeah.
is.
Don't
It's
look it up.
3 old
No,
dudes
go
in
right
a
ahead.
three-way.
Look it up. Look
I've
it up.
seen that so many times.
It's a lemon party, baby.
Yeah,
Come
the
on,
lemon
everybody's
party.
having
No,
fun.
I've seen Lemon
Are
Party.
you let down by Ron Paul? You should try the lemon party.
Yeah, you should.
No, I've seen Meat Spin so many times that I know the guy on the bottom has a condom on. Why would I know that?
And the one on top, though you can't see it in that frame, has a wig.
And
The full video, it's actually it's a tranny more or less.
oh, of course,
yeah.
obviously.
I mean,
I still feel like Billy's revelation is
No, I
worse
got
than
you. I
yours,
got you.
bro.
I know what
still
you're
feel
saying.
like it
No, I
is.
mean,
But
you
he's
know.
not, he knows the thought I'm having. Though.
I will say that if you'd have
I'm blown
said condom or no condom, I would have said condom because I remember that much. You know what I mean? I've watched the meat spin many times round like a record baby.
I spent a long time like making Evites that opened up to the lemon party. Just a picture,
Right.
a
sure.
screenshot of not actually
Who
going to
doesn't
lemon
love
party.
a lemon party? Yeah.
No, but just that was my thing. Is like I would print the picture out and then I would hide it in his sun visor and wait for him to text me fucking 5 months later when he actually pulled the I put it on his spare tire. I bet there's a picture of Lemon Party in his car right now on the spare tire, and he hasn't had a flat tire yet.
So how long have you been trolling around on them internets? Would you say?
Mainly since the Navy, couldn't really
So
afford
at least
a computer
10
for that.
years.
Yeah, but my first experience with the internet, we didn't have a computer in my house because we were fucking poor. We didn't have cable
Sure,
TV.
sure.
You got a Renaissance computer, baby.
I remember my first experience with the internet was I went to Nashville with my friend when I was 17. My first trip out of Texas. His dad had a computer, but no one in his house was allowed to use it, so he visited his mother in Nashville. My first was the fucking AOL dial-up with the
Sure.
guy
sure,
walking in
yeah,
the
sure.
middle of the
Yeah,
earth. But chat rooms pretending to be a lesbian to get pictures and using those pictures to get more pictures. As a 17.
I heard
Yeah,
you like
yeah.
pictures.
And my friend I don't know shit about computers. You show me, you click on stuff. It's
Sure.
a dumb person can do
It's
it, but
fine,
you don't know
yeah.
how a computer works. His stepdad found all the pictures I had saved.
Oh,
And he goes,
damn.
I found all these pictures. And I remember thinking when I was I'm in trouble. But as I thought about when I got older, I did him a fucking favor. I did him 12. I was there. I did 12 hours on the internet, probably total. Couple hundred pictures in there.
You could have done him the worst favor, actually.
Yeah.
Depending on what kind of, you know what I mean? Like, you don't know the ages of the photos and shit. Like, who knows?
Yeah, back then.
You probably were just getting other dudes doing the same thing.
Yeah, that's the funniest part.
But like somewhere down the line, there had to be one guy who was like, all right, I snapped a photo of my girlfriend last night. I'll pretend I'm her or whatever. Or
like
you know what I
trading
mean?
pics.
Like there had to
Love
be
trading
one of
pics.
those photos had to actually be like from somebody real.
That's Reddit gone wild. 95%
yeah.
of
So
Reddit
fucking
gone wild.
man, dude.
You hang out on Reddit GW, do you?
Dude. I think that
I love
everyone,
me some Gone
I
Wild.
feel like everyone who was around during that time remembers stumbling, like going into their first, adult AOL chat room to be like, all right, let's see what all this hubbub's about.
Still do it.
And
Shit.
you're just like, this is fucking weird,
Cyber-
man. This shit
cyber-
is so weird.
Typing sexual things is probably the funniest thing I can remember. It's
Let's
unbelievable.
cyber. You guys want to cyber? Who wants
And if
to
you're not a
cyber?
fucking novelist, which no one is, cybersex is like, what is it?
terrible.
people
terrible.
trying to be sweet. It's like the most unoriginal,
Where you get people like,
nondescript.
I'm coming. Like,
Oh my god! Oh. Yeah. It's a lot of like, here's what I would do if I was there.
it's terrible reenactment.
I actually
know.
saw a perfect example.
That's
of
the
it
thing that
in
fucks me up
voice.
about the cybersex is if you describe what you're doing right now as if you were there, it feels terribly cheesy to me. But if I were to describe what I would do if I were there, that feels a little bit okay for me. I can get
None
away-
of
I
it
can
feels.
get-
I
can
don't
get through
even.
that.
I don't even, listen.
Like if I do the webcam stuff, I can do it.
Wait, what?
I
What's
can get
going
away
on?
with
What's
I
going
feel
on, Billy?
uncomfortable all the way through. Even now, like,
Just talk about it.
I don't send pictures of my dick or nothing.
Sure.
As well, you should.
Not even in courtship. I have a girlfriend for a while now, but even in courtship, there wasn't a.
Even in courtship. Oh my god.
Yeah. That's probably for the best. That's not a good way to like, court a bitch,
No, but people do that. I have my.
I know
my
that.
good friend. You see
I don't
my
get it,
video, my rap stuff.
Yeah.
I have not. I've been wanting to ask, I wanted to ask about that. But all right, go ahead about your friend there.
No, he's the king of that.
I don't get dick pics, bro.
Wait,
I do not get it.
so
He's the king of
I wish he was here because I wanted to get into the mind of somebody who's
He
like,
was supposed to
hey
come.
girl, can I get your number? He has a dick pic,
Not
or
like
does
that.
he waits
No,
like a day or
dude,
two?
He's much classier.
He sees. He describes it like perfectly.
He's like the Jim
I'm
Norton
gonna-
of dick pics, where Jim Norton will take like he found a way to like turn every woman who gives him a massage into a hooker. Like he'll turn anybody who texts him into like a chick that wants to see his dick.
No, it's not even the dick pics. It's receiving the other end of that.
Oh yeah, okay.
Titties.
Well,
It's not just giving the dick pic. That's easy. Here's my dick. You
yeah,
know?
that's why I was curious. I was like,
so
it all depends
Come
on
on,
the
Mitch. Don't you know anything? That's the easy part. The dick pic is the easy part.
right. But what
Getting the
but
girl
we've
the
talked
it's
about
the
on this,
reciprocation.
we've talked about on this show like a million times the amount of women that we talk to and things like that, where they're like, I don't understand why guys think that's a good idea, blah blah blah. And I'm like, I don't.
It's one guy.
I've definitely sent a dick pic or two, but never like
Never sent a dick pic.
in the
Me
first
I'm just not even into
sentence
it.
or something like that. You know,
I'm
what I
not
mean?
into it.
It's weird to just like,
Maybe call me. So say I was in the Navy, so I had been away from my girlfriend a few times, and I do comedy, and sometimes I do get road stuff, so I go away on
Sure,
weekends. But I've never gone. Maybe because I'm a creative person, I didn't need another picture because I can picture them titties already. I got it in my head.
No, it doesn't count.
Hey,
If you've already seen the titties, there's no need to get pictures of them. Yeah, I'm with you. You got to get. It's all about the new.
Some people, yeah, but even the new stuff. I don't know. He
was all
gets
very
the
fast.
same.
But you've been with the girl for this long. I mean, it's a different
Yeah,
story.
but
man.
he's some of these girls he's known for a while, but there's just like these new titties and angles. I'm like,
Yeah, well, I mean, if it's
the
a new
funny
angle,
part,
yeah.
sometimes he'll just text them to me, and like my girlfriend, my phone's just sitting there. She's not nosy, but I don't have it locked. So, like, she sent me a second ago. You saw that picture? It was my living room, right?
Yeah.
She rearranged her living room in San Diego to show me, but he'll send me a picture and titties will be on this thing,
Oh,
and
God.
she'll just be like, she knows me so well. She goes, "Greg sent you titties again." Like she understands.
yeah.
She's like, "Greg sending you the titties," because she like.
So it's that frequent. It's that casual of just titties all the time.
Dude, I bet if I went,
That your girlfriend has
I don't know if I'm ousting, but I'm sure he doesn't care because this is his thing. He is well known for the titties.
It's cool. I mean, what else?
I
Oh,
bet
man.
if I texted him right now,
Would
he's at
send
the-
me titties, and he'd send you titties.
Yeah, I'm gonna try it.
Okay, let's see if
go
we
right
can
ahead.
get.
Not that I need to see the titty. In case if you're watching this, which you don't, because you don't care about this anymore. But,
So we're gonna try a real time riffing test. This is a first in riffing history right now.
all right.
Am I racing you? Because I'm gonna see if I
No,
can
it's
get-
not
Oh.
a race,
Oh,
Mitch.
okay.
It's not
So,
a
okay.
race.
I'm
This
sorry.
is
Watch, I'm
limited
gonna
to
ride out.
Billy
All right.
demonstrating
all right,
his own
all right,
thing. We
all right.
don't
On this
need
podcast.
a run on titties right now.
I was
okay?
just gonna start texting everybody. I
One
know.
man,
quick.
It's one man.
I gotta beat
demonstrating
Billy. I
one
gotta beat Billy with
aspect
the
of his
titties
own
game.
life. He's gonna
Quick.
put it in motion. He's gonna put it in the background. We're gonna.
Well,
move
anybody
on.
who knows me who's listening right now, feel free to
Hey,
send titties just to see if it'd be hilarious if I could beat you to it.
I
probably
I'm on
happened.
this
You'll
podcast.
see.
Send me some titties. This is to a dude, which is the best part.
It's always easier to ask dudes for titties.
It's always easier to ask dudes for titties. That
It is.
should be
It's
on the board
absolutely
right there.
true.
I'm gonna put that on the
You
board.
know
That's
it's
pretty
true,
good. I'm gonna put it
motherfucker.
on- I'm gonna put that on the board.
You know what's funny, dude? There's a situation where he had texted another one of our friends the titties, and then he's with that girl at a bar. So okay, let me set
with the
this
girl that he had texted.
Two
Right.
dudes and two girls.
Okay.
Right.
One dude had sent this dude a picture of one of the girl's titties.
Oh shit.
And then the other guy's trying to hit on the other girl, showing him pictures of her vacation. She recognizes the titties. He just happens to be on there. He goes, "Oh shit!" and she knew those were the other girl's titties, like because that
girl. Yeah.
that girl had sent her.
Damn,
the
this
titties
is a hell of a
before, too.
spy novel right now.
I tell you.
That girl had received the same picture, almost as if it was a simultaneous text for her. These are the titties I sent Greg. What'd you think? You know, when girls do that, this is what I said to her or whatever. But so she. Let's see how fast he is. He might be on stage somewhere, but
Yeah, that is something that women will do. They'll show each other the nudes they sent to other people. I would never do that with guys. And we're like, hey, check out this picture of my
Well,
ass.
it's 'cause-
I sent.
yeah.
how's my cock looking?
Yeah.
This?
Much different.
I
Bro.
think the
Much-
left ball
much
looks a little
yeah,
bigger
because
in
you're
this
not,
photo.
Well, also you're not gonna be sending any. It's not fucking. It doesn't have the same level of eroticism. I feel like, you know, with like a woman sending of like something. I mean, it's not like, hey, look at cock. It's looking at my cock, bro. Check out my cock.
One day I'll have to get some women in here that like cock pictures or something. It'll make more
You're
sense.
gonna be looking for a long time, dude. You're gonna be looking for a
No,
really long
it's not
time.
that hard to find them. I'm telling you.
Dane
It,
Cook-
again, it comes down to what it feels. It's
Random
not their,
cock
no,
photos.
No, we've
Random cock
nobody likes
photos.
that. But that's what we
Exactly.
talked about. Well, yeah, but I'm
Exactly.
not talking about that. I'm talking about just in
Well,
general.
you can find any woman in here who likes cock photos if she has a cock that she likes in her life. That's not hard at
Yeah.
all, bro.
Well,
that's
that's what
not
I'm talking
hard.
about.
It's not hard. We've had those. They're called women.
I know. But they don't ever actually. They tend to not admit it. They're
Yeah,
like,
but
I
they
don't want to see
talk
photos.
about it.
of
They don't
or
want to talk
whatever.
about cock photos.
I
bro.
know.
It's
I'm
an
just
intimate
saying.
thing. They don't.
Look,
it's not the
I
same.
get it.
Find a woman who enjoys a random dude sending her random cocks all the time, bro, and that will be a guest. for a
Yes,
fucking
that's
life.
got
I bet
nothing to
there
do. You
definitely
said,
is.
but you said it's about the eroticism thing. Guy, if a chick's just getting a cock photo, like some random dude, of course she's like, oh, I don't give a fuck. But there's the reason why guys would just like within 2 photos be like, hey, check out my cock, is because somewhere along the line he sent that cock and it was like, hey, awesome, bring that over here. And so he was like, all right, I'm gonna cut the shit in the beginning, the 20 texts that lead up to my cock, and just start out with cock and see
Yeah.
where that goes.
Do you want to see my dick? That's the first type.
Yeah, yeah.
Dane Cook, I heard him tell a joke where he said he's been sending the same dick picture for 6 years. Like he just has the same one. Like that's the best one he had. So you can't top this dick picture. So that's the one he circulates.
Oh man,
That's funny.
I've heard. Well, you've been on Rogan's Ice House thing. Red Band talks about how whenever he has to send, he just takes a picture off the internet and sends her some. And I'm just like, that's that thing where I get into like my brain about it, where I'm like, well, she thinks that's your dick, and anybody who saw it thinks that you sent a dick picture, which is kind of the same as you may as well just send a dick picture at that point.
If you're gonna send, like, I mean, you gotta have a no dick pics policy or all dick pics policy.
What if he
Yeah.
he took a picture of his dick, used Google goggles to find a dick that looked the same, and then used that
Again,
dick?
but what would be the point?
Yeah, right. Like at that point, bro, you the dude disguised as a dude playing a dude with the dude's dick in front of your face or something.
I
like
had
that.
this discussion
know
with
what
I
his
had that
reason is.
I had that discussion with Ruppel on this show. One of the times that you were out of town, we were talking about stunt cocks and stunt boobs and stuff like that in movies, and I was like, a lot of times I don't really understand it, where they cut away and it's like ostensibly it's supposed to be the woman who's in the movie's boobs, but it's not her boobs, and I'm like, why not just her boobs? Why?
She won't do it. That's the reason, probably.
Yeah,
Right,
bro.
but it's like everybody thinks now that those are
but,
your boobs.
Yeah, but listen again. If you didn't feel fucking super comfortable in your boobs, or you could just hire another pair of boobs that would just be your boobs, or you could just hire a cock to be your cock, and you still had your cock, fine, whatever. But I don't need. To
I
put
mean,
my
I
cock
wouldn't
out
do
there.
that, but
You wouldn't do that.
I
Billy?
wouldn't do that. No.
Billy, are you a cock pics or no cock pics?
No, cock.
What's your
That's what
policy?
I'm talking about.
That's what
Yeah,
I'm
that's what
saying.
he's saying.
I would never.
not
Are
into
you,
that.
Mitch, you're gonna send some cock pics, wouldn't you?
I occasionally.
You okay? See,
I have
no
done
cock
that.
pics. Everybody on this
I'm
side of the table,
currently- look,
no cock pics. Okay?
I would say
I'm never sending cock pics.
Generally speaking, on a 9 out of 100 times,
my cock
I'm
will
a
never
no
be on
cock
the internet,
pics.
bro. Ever. I can't take that
I'm
chance.
gonna move on to another news item
I can't take the chance.
He wrote.
Why would you move on, right?
He wrote.
because we're not doing anything.
He wrote titties aren't sending due to reception. So he's the photo won't go out, but
It's all right.
without hesitation.
It's not like I don't
Look at
trust
that. Look
you.
at that.
It's
Well
okay.
done.
without
Nicely
hesitation.
done. Nicely done.
Hey, and also with the dick pic, I don't even put off the vibe in relationships throughout since cell phone, dick pic possibilities,
Right.
which is, 2004,
Yeah.
2005, first generation iPhone, whenever that came out. Probably 2007, actually, but
No, I mean you could do dick pics before then.
yeah, but I mean, before it was like wide.
Before you could just-
before
before you-
everyone had a picture. From
Right.
it.
Yeah. Before dick pics were just.
I didn't even
it.
send off the
I feel
vibe
like-
that
I
would.
don't know.
You can't
Right.
even build a relationship now without a dick pic, basically.
But I don't even think I ever sent
True.
out the vibe that was like, he would give me a dick pic. I don't send out that vibe.
Yeah,
Maybe
right.
I'm not.
Yeah, that's
Like,
fair.
maybe if I pushed him a little bit hard enough, I could get a dick
If
pic.
I challenge him to be the best dick pic person,
Hey, titties.
Oh no!
Nicely done, nicely done.
Wow, he did it. What was that? Like 6 minutes?
He
Jeez.
did it.
Not bad, not bad.
I
And
can
they're
only-
nice,
I
too.
can only
Congratulations.
imagine.
Hey, it's
how
not even
happy
gross,
I
kids.
can-
Not bad, not
I
bad.
can only
I'm just trying to
imagine.
make sure they're not on the camera.
Is your
'cause-
girlfriend upset by that?
Ustream, right?
Yeah.
Is she upset by Greg, or is she just roll her eyes like, oh my god?
You know, honestly, I found luckily someone in life that understands me like completely.
Yeah.
She's not even that mad at curiosity at one point in time, but outside of that, it's just like I gotta tell him. I'm like, hey, dude, your titties are popping up. I'm talking,
yeah, right.
but I don't even. There's just even being a comedian. When I leave, I do leave a lot, and I'm not even like that deep into the game.
Right.
But the trust is just gigantic, so I put off that vibe. I put off the trust vibe.
I don't put out a dick pic vibe, but I do put out a trust me, I'm a noble gentleman vibe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fair.
Greg's a really likable person, so that's how that works. So she's just like, oh, Greg's cool. But if he
Okay.
was like some creeper,
She's like, okay.
which essentially,
She's kind of got in her brain. She's like, that's Billy's friend.
Do you
who
think
just-
that her vibe would be different if it were directly to you from the girls? Do you think she'd be like, okay, now
Absolutely,
this
it would
Fuck
be
yeah.
different.
I just had to ask. I don't know.
It's not even
it would almost be a clever disguise.
Yeah, right?
Oh, that's my friend again. What do you
Yeah.
know?
She might not even think that Greg's a real person, bro. She might
I
think
got
he's a shell company.
I got 9 Greg Santoses in here, and every time, Greg again. Oh, and that one has. Oh, what's in? It's inside. That's inside of her pussy.
No,
God, he's crazy, right?
Why do I feel like that name sounds familiar? Greg Santos.
I
Has he been? He hasn't been on here.
no,
he's never been on there.
he's a
Oh, I-
comedian.
I feel like I've
Nah,
seen
I've
him
seen him
before.
Now he's.
Anyway, I
well,
want
now
to
he's
move
been
on to it.
completely outed.
All right, now I'm going to move on. Recently, Mike Tyson, I guess he's going to be doing a one-man show tour.
Yeah, I've heard a
soon.
lot about this.
So, as these things go, when people announce shit that they're doing, when people thought they've fallen off the radar, they all of a sudden go, "Oh, I got a story you haven't heard." So, Mike Tyson is telling the story about how when he was filming The Hangover, he was high as fuck on cocaine. And I've talked about it on the show before. Like, there's nothing more frightening to me in the world than the idea of a Mike Tyson strung out on coke, especially while angry at you. And he wasn't angry during the Hangover shootings. He was just saying that he was just high on coke a lot, and he was big ups to Ed Helms, Brad Cooper, Zach Galifianakis, and Justin Bartha. He says they had to know I was messed up. I couldn't talk. I had the cocaine talk. So those guys are just beautiful people. They had my back, and I appreciate that. And they asked me to come back and do Hangover 2. And I feel like, look, you don't ask Mike Tyson if he's high on coke, and you don't fire him for being high on coke. You just kind of go, let's just not say anything, all right? What more fascinating, perhaps, is that towards the bottom, he talks about how he saw his old girl, Robin Givens, when they were in the middle of a divorce, going in and out of, her and Brad Pitt going in and out of the house. And all he says is, I was mad as hell. I was going to... You should have saw his... There's like ellipses. Just, I was going to... You should have saw his face when he saw me, but Brad's face is still intact. Imagine now, Robin Givens era Mike Tyson
Wow.
sees you with his girl
Wow.
coming out the house.
Brad Pitt is lucky to be alive right now, son. Oh my god.
Just
that
this
man should be
pitbull?
That man would be dead, bro.
Yeah.
That man is lucky that Mike Tyson
I like to think that
gave him grace.
Mike Tyson saw Brad Pitt, was really mad, but then goes, man, that's Brad Pitt. And it was overwhelmed by
I want
his
to punch you in the
beauty.
face right now, but your face is so magnanimous.
You're, how could I mess up that? Those
I'm trying to
jawbones?
like
right?
the picture they have of Brad Pitt and Robin Givens way back then.
I guarantee you.
I don't actually know what he would have been in during that time. Like that would have been so long ago. I don't think he was in anything yet.
What year?
Look at
Look
him.
at him. That's,
Look at old Brad.
What year is
Pitt.
that?
12 Monkeys? Is that 12 Monkeys, Brad Pitt?
No, there's no way.
What year?
1989.
Holy shit.
That wouldn't even have been True Romance.
Yeah, he was just a dude. He was a dude dressed up like a chicken.
Yeah, he was just like he was probably doing those Budweiser commercials. You
Yeah,
see those?
that's before Thelma and Louise, isn't it?
Probably.
When's Thelma and Louise come out?
IMDb.
That might be right about
I-
Thelma and Louise.
Because that is what broke him out as this fucking.
Was
you know,
it?
yeah, Thelma and Louise, because he appears in that as like a fucking. I'm pretty sure that's the movie.
91.
That's it, right?
Yeah, it would have been before then.
He's in Thelma and Louise, right?
Yeah.
He's in as like a fucking sex
I don't know if
god.
that was his first.
He's a sex
time.
god in Thelma and Louise. He breaks out in that in 91. So that's 2 years before then, man. So he was knocking around the scene as a fucking sexy dude that people knew about, probably.
Looks like
He
in
is lucky to have a face, son.
In '89, he was in the TV series Freddy's Nightmares,
Oh, he was killing
Head
it
of the
already.
Class,
He was killing it.
The Dark
already.
Side of the Sun.
Yeah, right. He was an
Stoning in
up-and-comer.
Fulham County. 21 Jump Street. He was in an episode of that.
Okay, see,
In
so
1988.
he was knocking. He was knocking.
He was in
bro.
5 episodes of Dallas.
No, he's knocking, bro. Mike Tyson was gonna murder that man.
Oh yeah, there's no chance. That
Mike,
would
and
have-
he was
yeah.
in Mike Tyson's house.
No, I guess maybe it was Robin Givens was coming out of his
What
house.
is the
Let's see what
what
it
does that
says.
article say? Because they said someone's coming out of somebody's home because that man would have gotten murdered, son. Murdered.
They were. It just says they were returning home together. That's all it says. They were returning home together.
Mike Tyson.
Said he stumbled upon the Head of the Class star returning home with Pitt. So in my house.
That's what I'm saying. You want me to come back to my house? You know what I'm saying?
That's like that Chris Rock bit.
No.
And you can sleep with him in
I-
my
yeah,
house.
right, yeah,
I'm not
right.
saying I,
Yeah,
but I understand.
Listen, I think that's fucking. I think it's fucking amazing, though. I mean, like,
I mean,
Yeah,
look at
this
the shape
story
he
is
was in
so
back
much
then
in-
too. That was Mike Tyson in his fucking prime.
jeez.
All I know is like anybody that
Famous
Robin
Brad Pitt in '89.
anybody that Robin was banging out with around that time, she had been like, listen, if you see anybody about yay tall just in the
That's
distance,
a bold woman, dude.
fucking
Heavyweight
run.
champion looking.
Listen,
Yeah.
that's why let's
Looks
talk,
like
let's
he
talk
could
for a
snap
second
your
about
neck
let's talk
with
for a
his
second
2
about Robert
fingers.
Gibbons
Give me
right
a
now
soda real
in
quick.
1989. Okay, because
Do you
Why
think they
bitches don't have they just don't have concern for other people's safety? Why
you
is
know
that?
she doesn't give a
You know what I'm
fuck. She
saying?
didn't give a fuck about anybody back in 1989.
If
you were
YouTube was in 1989 beforehand, as a legal disclaimer, she would show them Mike Tyson highlight reel
Yeah, right?
of him knocking everyone out. Do you
Who'd
still
you say?
want?
Who's your husband? And you are not officially divorced from this man yet? You are still technically in the eyes of the law? with him?
Worse than that, he would go to his lawyer's place. He'd go to talk to his lawyer and say like, "Oh, she's stealing from me," and then on the way to the lawyers, he'd stop by, fuck her
Can
real
you
quick.
imagine?
So like, he was still fucking her,
Listen,
and
can you imagine
yeah.
if fucking Gawker or TMZ was around in '89
there'd
and
be no
caught wind?
cameras left in America.
If,
They'd all been
if
smashed.
if there was anything resembling Twitter in '89 and Mike Tyson caught wind, like I mean, like the fact that he was there and spared him, right? But like, imagine if he was just out somewhere, and
Right,
he was like,
right.
oh, "What? These motherfuckers are together? That's a thing.
Right,
It's
right.
murder time, son. It's murder time.
Look
son.
at
That's-
his hands, dude.
Right? Look at him. Jeez, his hand, like he's got fucking one hand just. Brad Pitt's got a don't hurt me
Literally
face
bigger
in
than
this
her
picture.
leg. Literally bigger than her leg. And Brad Pitt isn't much bigger than her.
He's
in that
drunk
photo.
in mom jeans.
He would,
Yeah.
he would have gotten massacred, man. Oh my God. America's heartthrob would have gotten murdered by Mike Tyson in 1989. If not for his grace.
What website is this? This is so
This is
Oh,
the
that's the
Daily
Daily
Mail,
Mail
bro.
right
That's,
there,
fucking, that's a
yeah.
rag, dude.
the
One of-
gossip
yeah.
stuff.
That's, one of,
That's
it's
the
British
gossipy
version.
gossip
It's
rag.
British.
See, I probably wouldn't believe the story if it was just Mike Tyson saying, like, here's a list of people I almost killed, but I let them go. But there's a photo.
I would absolutely believe that. I would
But if you
absolutely
look at that photo of Robin Givens and Brad Pitt, like, all right, all right.
That's
all
a
right,
Brad
Mike.
Pitt image of like, please, why are you taking
That
it?
should
And
be
you know,
that should
look,
be Mike
this is
Tyson's
a-
one-man show.
What
Here's
is this-
people I didn't kill.
Where the fuck does this picture come from? Archives. Like,
I don't know.
I don't know, but I
Who's
don't.
credited with that picture? What does it say right there?
Getty Images.
Where did it
Getty.
come from?
I don't think it's any
Someone had to
coincidence.
go.
Well,
had
she
that at
was
their
on
house,
Head of the
scan
Class,
that.
right? Wasn't
It's
she on?
internet.
She was on Head of the Class. Wasn't that her
Right.
thing?
I think she might have been.
And he
internet
did
time.
he did a guest spot in 1989 on Head of the Class. So there you go.
I
That
think
would have
it's-
been on the set of Head of the Class.
I think it's no coincidence there's an exit only sign above Brad Pitt's shoulders. The other thing that I think is very fascinating that's going to happen a lot in the next few years that people aren't prepared for is this deluge of photographs of famous people now who've sort of become fossilized as celebrities. Back in there in the 80s, we had a similar thing happening with Brooke Shields, a picture of her where she was
Send
like
it again.
She was like smoking
More
weed.
titties.
She's like smoking weed with some. I can't remember what musical act it is, but it was like a picture of Brooke Shields smoking weed back in the 80s or whatever when she was much younger. And she's like, no, it's not me. And they're like, yeah, of course it's you. You know, and like that's going to happen more frequently. I feel like for a lot of people, as pictures from the fucking era where everything could just be kept in the shadows starts to leak out, and they've built these very carefully manicured public personalities, you're going to have these fucking pictures start to impugn on that a little bit, and they're going to be forced into the situation where they can try and downplay it and insult everyone's intelligence or they can just be like, yeah, of course, it was the 80s. No shit. No
Yeah,
shit, I
that's
was
what's-
doing things that you didn't know about in the 80s. Duh.
That's
Fair.
what's fun about the comedy thing. Anything outside of the realm of norm, you can be like, I'm just being funny. There's like this veil of fucking. If
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
trying to be a politician or one of these big fucking stars, you can't say anything.
So did you ever hear about the Megabus?
The Megabus.
Megabus.
The airplane?
It's a service, the Megabus, megabus.com. $1 express bus service from L.A. to the Bay Area and Vegas is coming
Oh,
back.
I heard about that ages ago, but it was shut down, right?
Yeah,
it was
it's
shut
back.
down. I used to hear about that.
It's back. It's
Oh,
back.
no,
Now,
that's
now
a
the
bad-
$1 thing, I guess, is a promotional thing for like a week or two. However, I took the liberty of just for kicks looking up their prices normally from L.A. to Vegas, $15.
Oh my god. Oh my
I
god.
know
That
how
is a
it
good
works.
You
price.
could even buy a bag of meth for the road with those kind of prices.
And they probably won't search you because it's the Mega Cabus.
Shit.
Dude, I know how it works, man.
Now from L.A. to
Billy, like a Billy's just in the back. I know how it works, baby.
from L.A. to San Francisco, let's say the 21st and through the 23rd, let's say $30.
Wow.
That's not bad.
That's
Yeah,
not anything
but-
less than like fucking.
But it's probably like Spirit Airlines. You bring a bag. You want to bring
Yeah.
a bottle of water
Dude,
on board.
dude.
Service. You ever been on Spirit
I
Airlines?
have been on Spirit Airlines,
Boy,
and
this-
it is the worst airline in the world.
Holy shit.
It is absolutely the worst airline.
You
in
know
America.
what's worse than
Easily.
being depressed?
No, they
flying
got
back?
no. They're
Wait,
very,
I want to hear that.
All
I
right,
need to
go
hear
ahead,
this.
go
I
ahead,
need to
go
hear
ahead.
this. Billy, what were you saying?
The only thing worse than being depressed from flying back from Vegas all broken shit and hungover is being on the city bus in the sky with like there's like graffiti on the seat.
Yeah.
There's all the advertisements. And
Yeah.
then it's a 45-minute flight. They pitch you a MasterCard the whole
Hey,
way
don't they?
back.
and bottled water cost.
Yeah.
It costs like $3 for a bottle of water. You gotta. I mean, it is the biggest grift in America
If
right
you-
now. Spirit Airlines.
If
dude.
you jump on Spirit Airlines and go to Las Vegas and do it right, like don't shower, don't change, drink a bunch of water before you get on the plane, yeah, you could get there for $7.
Yeah.
but-
yeah, you could ride in the passenger cart for like $3 or whatever. It's fucking it's insane.
Okay,
man.
what's your luggage policy? They don't check luggage. You're allowed up to one piece of luggage per passenger. It can't exceed 62 inches. That doesn't seem so bad. And
Free?
should not weigh more than 50 pounds.
For a
you'll
Vegas
you just
trip?
get one.
for a
no,
Vegas
it
trip
says
though?
the Bay.
Oh, yeah. To the Bay, it's $30. From LA to the Bay, it's $30.
That's really good stuff.
Yeah.
Megabus,
And here's the
baby.
best part. This is why I even brought this
Megabus.com, bitches.
up. Free Wi-Fi.
Upgrade.
The whole way.
Upgrade.
They got restrooms.
Not even Greyhound
They
can
got,
tell you
they
that.
got power outlets, so you can charge the whole day. You just like you
Whoa.
can, there you go. Mobile
There's
office.
only a few Greyhound buses, especially to Vegas, that have Wi-Fi and the outlets. The ones that
yeah.
do,
It says onboard
so
restrooms,
sweet.
power outlets, free
so
Wi-Fi,
sweet.
and on the longer trips they'll even stop at some rest stops so you can get more chips and snacks and whatever.
Wait, so
things
they
like
don't,
that.
they don't
So
stop? They
I
don't
guess
stop
they
at
don't.
all, bro.
Bro, if
Look, from here to Vegas, like a 3-hour drive. What's the point?
Type-
But from
what
here
if-
to San Francisco is probably a little bit more. you
No,
know?
man, you
What
gotta,
it- what's
you gotta
your-
stop in Bakersfield at least.
what if you get there and they're like $30 human body service fee, like to come on?
yeah,
Ask how much
$10
for-
per stare.
yeah.
Anyway, something to look into. Megabus.com.
It's back. You know, I
Thought
remember
I'd
looking that
point
up
that
last year, and I was like, damn, it doesn't exist anymore. But I don't know why they came
That looks
back.
gnarly.
Does anyone
So-
know why they went away in the first place?
What's
Did we
the-
know?
They were having startup problems as these things go.
Fuck
So
What's
yeah,
their
Megabus.
shtick, though?
now it's the
I don't know. It's just
it's
cheap,
the
yeah.
40-year anniversary this year
cheap, I guess.
of not only this year but as of a few days ago, the 40-year anniversary of the Atari. Fascinating, some fascinating little tips,
Alright. Okay.
things you might not know. This is actually what I think is probably the most fascinating one. In 1974, an unkempt, sandal-clad hippie walked into Atari's lobby and demanded a job. He was answering an ad in the San Jose Mercury that read, "Have fun, make money." The hippie wouldn't leave until he got a job. Al Alcorn was called in to help. I was told, "We've got a hippie in the lobby. He says he's not going to leave until we hire him. Should we call the cops or let him in?" I said, "Bring him on in." The hippie would earn $5 an hour and work as a tech. Do you know who that hippie was?
Steve Jobs.
There you go.
Damn, he beat me.
Just the
Yeah.
easiest guess.
There you go.
No background.
That's kind of
on it.
fascinating. So I remember that he
remember
started
reading
at
about
Atari. I didn't know that was his starting point.
He's
He's
a
just,
fucking
"Hey
hippie."
man, give me a job."
Yeah.
We might arrest you. Whatever. A job or jail, whatever.
Whatever.
That's a
We'll give you $5 an hour. All right, I'm gonna be the richest man in the world someday. Thank you.
Dude, I remember at Target.
Thanks for making history, y'all.
I guess this makes me really poor, though.
Bring it on.
So the Atari would have to have come out 11 years before I was born, according to that, right? 40 years old.
1972, yeah.
So when I was coherent enough to have a video game system, it was an Atari. And I remember playing the Spider-Man game, and it was the simplest. I can still remember. It was like, I don't know, what is a 4-bit, they say? Like very blocked.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
Spider-Man, basically, the background is a brick. One of the levels, brick with windows. Spider-Man
Right.
puts his arm out like in, choppy, like arm out, and then he would shoot the web, and it would go, do. It would connect, and then it would go chop, 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 and he'd fly to a window, and he'd fight the Green Goblin, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
I remember
very
that,
choppy.
yeah.
That
I
was
remember
the game, and I
Pitfall.
remember being
Pitfall was the
going,
one I played a lot. Very similar to that, though.
Yeah, I remember that game.
So it was a brown block, though. It was a brown block moving across a green screen and stuff.
You know what's really funny about like that? I don't know if any of you seem technical. That's 40 years.
Damn.
40 years ago, the blocky fucking characters.
Yeah.
And now Minecraft is one of the biggest fucking. You know what Minecraft is?
Yeah. The
I
blocks
know,
all over
I
again.
work man. I deal
The
with Minecraft
craziest
all the
shit.
time.
If you want to fucking blow your mind, the shit that people have done with Minecraft, like
Some of the builds they build like fucking things from Game of Thrones, man.
I like
It's
the
fucking
one that I
amazing.
saw that was the most
Why is that a
amazing
thing?
fucking thing that
don't
I
know.
couldn't even believe anybody had the time to do it. They made a 1-to-1 pixel scale Game Boy of Super Mario Brothers on the Game Boy, basically, and had it animate through the entire first level. So every single pixel was a block, and they animated the entire first level in Minecraft, basically.
Yeah.
In
Well,
a-
I mean,
in a-
there's a lot of crazy.
You understand?
stuff.
That's like 6 months of work.
Well, there's a lot of
billion
on
blocks.
Machinima, bro. There's a lot of that Minecraft stuff that happens. A lot of those
yeah.
directors' videos, and Machinima had their first ever film festival
Going down, it's like that
this week.
when
But
we
a
talk
lot of
about,
videos.
Well, like talk about that Sims stuff. I was always like, "What's the point, though?"
Well,
Like,
but I mean,
who are
I
you
think
gonna show it to?
that's what's
But
fascinating is that
these
that's
days it's
part
a
of-
little better because at least you can show it to people.
No, that's the difference. Where now it's that there's not just that where you can show it to people, but you've got places like Machinima which are trying to actually create a more legitimate institutionalized venue for what we've talked about, that sort of evolution of nerd culture from people who used to just be dungeon masters with D&D games back in the day, and now they're full-fledged adults and they're working for all these video game companies or whatever, and there's this whole gaming community, and now you can have your own film festival where there's all sorts of Minecraft animations taken out and done, which is crazy things, man. I mean, just like Minecraft alone, some of the things that I've seen with animations and some of the stuff that people put together for 2-minute shorts. I have never played Minecraft. I didn't even know what the fuck it was until a few months ago.
Blocks.
But
Just
now,
blocks.
yeah, I know. But seeing what people have done with it, and less of what they've done with Minecraft, but more of the ingenuity that it's unlocked.
More titties. Is
It's crazy, bro.
that what
No,
you're laughing about?
I'm laughing about fucking
Oh.
Minecraft, bro.
Oh,
It's
okay.
it's crazy. I mean, if you see,
All right, I
some
want
of
to
the
show
fucking
you.
videos, it's crazy.
We're almost out of time. We got 2 more things, and we'll see if we have enough time for Google Feud. Check out this crazy bong, the alien face hugger bong. Hugs your face, gets you high. Yeah.
I'm not gonna smoke out of that.
Yeah,
I'm
I'll
not
be
gonna
getting one of
smoke it up.
those.
I'm not gonna
That'll
smoke
be
it
the
up.
new riffing pipe. Just
Are
want you. I'm just showing you.
are you
know
kidding
that.
me?
Just letting you know
Are
that
you
now.
kidding me?
That
Are you
fr-
kidding me?
that
How does that
creeps
even
me
work?
out, man.
Right, Billy? I'm not gonna smoke out of that. I'm not smoking out of that.
Ah, it's so awesome.
That is how I would not trust a friend who gave me that to smoke out of. I'm being very honest.
Hey,
with
stick this on your
Dude,
face and,
you guys-
and smoke it.
You need to. Someone needs to make a Bane mask bong. Then, if
you.
that's
I'll smoke out of that.
You
Do
do
it.
that?
Do it
Let's
right
look it
now.
up. Give me a Bane
I
bath.
bet it's already exists. Sometimes I think of that. You know,
There's
you
gotta
think of
be
that
a
shit.
Bane mask bong.
Think of the
Bane
wildest shit you
mask
can think of
bong.
and
It's not a
Google it. Someone already made that shit. They're just not doing a
I
good
need a
job
real
of selling
clean,
it.
though,
Yep,
bro.
there you go.
I need it real clean.
What do you
though.
know?
Look at it
Already?
real clean.
Yeah, hold
Let me
on.
see how
Yeah.
it looks.
What? I'm just seeing people.
Is it
talking
complete?
about
Is it complete
Well,
with the
that's
vest
what I'm looking
that
for.
I can hold? With
That'd
a
be
baller
really
ass
funny.
coat? That'd be sick, dude.
And when you take a really big bong rip, it goes, "You are Gotham's reckoning."
What a lovely voice.
What a lovely, lovely strain. All right. Well, whatever. I'm sure it'll be out soon. All right. How about Spotify's most popular songs of 2012? Are you ready to shoot yourself?
I'm not excited for anything.
Justin Bieber.
Gangnam Style.
No, that is not on there.
Get out of my face.
Oh, somebody.
Oh,
2012.
God damn.
So you've got that
I hate
Gautier
that
featuring
song.
Kimberly, somebody
really
that I
do
know,
not like that song.
Carly Rae Jepsen, Call Me Maybe. By the way, I just want to say this. Never actually heard the song. Only seen the little block of lyrics everybody quotes, the Call Me Maybe lyrics. I just met you and this might sound crazy, but here's my number and call me maybe. Like, nothing has made me feel like more of just like a fucking creepy, perverted, like, individual than that small chunk of text. Because I'm like, if that's crazy, like even to like a 14-year-old, like I'm just like, oh my God, how far I've come. Like if somebody walked up and said like, hey, I know we just met and this might sound crazy, but I want you to jerk off on my tits so my husband and his friend fuck both holes. I wouldn't think that was all that crazy. I'd be like, well,
That's pretty
not-
crazy.
I
bro.
mean,
I'm not gonna lie to you. That's a little crazy.
I'd be like, you got a place for this? Like,
a little
it
crazy.
still wouldn't seem that crazy. In comparison, if somebody's like, this might sound crazy, I'd be like, oh, what are we going to come up with? And she's like, here's my number. I'd be like, to do what? Like, are we killing somebody later tonight? Why am I getting the phone number? No, just like to call me, maybe. I'd be like, all right, we're on different spectrums of like the universe.
I would have called.
Like, I would not call you if that sounded crazy to you, because what I'm going to do next is going to be like, you're going to put me in jail. So it's like, anyway, moving along. Fun featuring Janelle Monáe, We Are Young. I like that song. It's a good jam. Flo Rida, or is it Flo Rida?
Flo Rida.
Okay. They got two, Whistle and Wild Ones.
It's he. It's one person.
Is
it's
it they?
One gentleman.
Well, the second one is featuring someone.
It's because that's come on.
I was using the
Train.
Nope. Train somehow snuck in there.
I was
Jeez.
the gender
It's still
neutral.
around?
Gender neutral. They. Gender normative. Nicki Minaj, Maroon 5. David Guetta,
David Guetta.
featuring Sia. So this Sia person is
Sia's been doing her thing for a while. And
Feature work.
she's
kid.
like
she's
featured
been,
on
in
two
the last,
of the top
in
10s.
the last few years, she's been kind of like what happened with Dido back off of Eminem with Stan. Sia has, where like he was like, holy shit, I heard this and this is great. Sia has experienced a very similar blow up in the last few years.
All right. And Laureen, Euphoria. That's just the top 10. I looked at the 100
That's
and
terrible.
I started to get
Gautier
upset.
really needs to go away and never come back. I'm not sure. Billy, how did you feel about that particular jam?
When I first heard that song, it's pretty gnarly, and then they drove. I thought it was a good song, but then the world ruined.
See,
it
this is
for
where I
me.
felt good. Like I don't like listen to the radio. I don't listen to Spotify shit. Like I listen to my own stuff. So like songs that could be popular an entire year, like I'll have never heard, and I'll finally hear it and go, oh yeah, I could see why this is a pretty good jam. Like Gotcha song, whatever. I've heard it maybe twice, and I'm like, it's still all right.
Yeah,
I like
but-
the part in the middle where the chick starts singing. She's all right. But
Yeah, before they even,
whatever.
my friend makes these playlists. He is on to music before, like, I don't know. He has this blog. He makes these music lists and he sends them to me, and they're always really good. And I saw that on there. Like, man, that's a pretty good song. And then I forgot about it because I don't keep listening to it.
What's the name of his blog? I love to know these things.
He's not gonna give you that.
I have it in my phone.
All right. Well, send it to me later, I guess.
I just can't remember the
I know
name.
this might
I'd
sound
butcher it.
crazy, but I'd like your friend's playlist, so send it to me maybe.
Let's see what you did.
Yeah, you see where I'm going with that shit?
You know what though? This is Spotify. This is
Oh,
global.
they-
I think the
I
difference
know,
is
I
this is
got it.
global too, and
I
I feel
got
like
it.
the fact that it's global is very. The fact that Flo Rida cracked twice and a global as opposed to just America is what depresses me the most.
I remembered.
Okay, here we
It's
go.
called the Indie Yogi.
The Indie Yogi.
Yeah.
Okay,
So apparently,
What is
like,
that?
It's into that's the blog. The
Oh,
that's
Indie
where the
Yogi.
gyms are.
Indie Yogi?
Yeah.
We'll
Google
put it on.
first.
We'll put it on the
Indie Yogi.
we'll try to put it
Oh,
on
the
page.
indieyogi.tumblr.com. There you go.
We'll put it on the. We'll put it on the page. Shout out to the Indie Yogi.
All right.
name.
Well, yeah, I'll be sure to throw that on the site. Yeah. I don't know. But I can't speak to. Maybe it's all terrible shit. So.
No, there's really great songs on there.
Well, I
mean,
see just in like the Google preview, I see like Santi Gold. I'm like, all right, I'm okay with that.
it's very
The rest of them, I don't know what the fuck we're
yeah.
looking
It's a
at.
lot of different stuff. Like he turned me on to M83. If you've ever heard.
Oh my God, M83 is the best.
You gotta warn me before you get Teddy
I'm
excited.
sorry,
It goes
bro.
right into my ear.
M83 is just they're so ill.
He's
bro.
really on to music like way
M83
before.
is
I'm
so
not
ill.
into it. Like if he wasn't,
so ill.
if he wasn't my Facebook friend, I would have never known about any of these because I barely turn on the radio either. I
Yeah,
listen
no,
to
I'm the
Pandora.
same
I
way.
just
That's
listen
why I
to
like.
myself play the band.
I always like to know, but
I
I
like
need it
hip-hop,
in this
so.
kind of playlist sort of formula where I can just kind of listen to them and go, all right, yes. What I'll do is like
It's
I'll
nice
go
to
on.
have like a random person going, not
Yeah,
like the
yeah.
radio.
Like
where
what
people
I'll
pay.
do, the closest I've got is I'll go to Pitchfork
The old word
and
of
I'll go
mouth.
like best new songs of like this month, and I'll listen and go, yeah, like bands, artists, different people I've never heard of, and I'll kind of go, yeah, nah, this is terrible. Ooh, I really like this, and then I'll get into it.
It's just like he puts like 12 songs every couple of weeks.
yeah, it's good
He's a
stuff.
graphic artist. He's a really cool guy.
All right, well,
He does my thumbnails for my YouTube
shout
channel.
out to that shit. Did you want to do Google Feud or you want one more news article?
I don't know, man. It's been a while since we played some Google Feud. I think
All
we
right,
could
you want to play some Google Feud?
I don't know
Explain,
what that is.
explain a Billy with Google Feud.
All right. You remember like Family Feud? They'd have something up on the board. It'd be like, top 5 things that husbands complain about or whatever, right? So this day and age, you can type a partial sentence into Google and it'll give you, the end of the sentence for, 10 end of sentences rather, based on what everybody searches for. So
Oh,
you
yeah, I
can
know
instantly find out the pulse of the end of the sentence you might type. So we play a game here called Google Feud where you give
played
us
the
a partial
shit out of 'em.
sentence and then we try to guess what 3 of the 10 things that Google will suggest might be.
I'm giving the sentence.
Yeah, well, we each give a partial sentence.
Oh.
And we also all guess
And
at the
you
same
write
time.
down.
Yeah, but not. What basically it is you come up with a partial sentence like, "Why does my father?" And then we have a minute and we write down 3 guesses for what the end of that sentence would be. You see, and then the further down on the list it is, the more points it's worth. And if it's just funny, you also get points for that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right. So I'll go ahead and clear out the screen here for Google. All right.
Yeah, you can flip through that notebook and see if you got some more suggestions.
So if you've
Do you
got
need
it,
to clear your own history? That's actually a lot more fun. If you're ever at someone's house, play your own Google Feud. Type in the first letter of any sentence and see what the fuck they've been searching.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
a great fear. I feel like
doesn't quite work the same way, but you're thinking of like the autocomplete on your history. I'm talking about like Google.
No, I
the
know what
search
you're
engine.
talking-
Yeah. I see what you're saying.
Oh, everybody knows what
and no,
everybody's talking
I would
about.
never type in anything in front of people. No. I'm always like, stand over there. And
Hey, Asian shit porn. Wow, that's your number one?
Yikes. Should've gone-
listen, just because when I type W, it fills out wet horsecock. I don't, look.
Mr. Hands.
No,
Okay.
I promise I was looking for more Mr. Clean.
At the end of this millennium, when they have that rollover top
Oh,
things
yeah,
of the
that's-
millennium, boy, Mr. Hands is going to be on there. Almost even at the end of this 100 years.
Oh, it turns out this Carly Rae Jepsen chick is 27. Someone just texted me with that. So
Jespin.
She was discovered by Justin Bieber, thankfully.
okay, so
She's a Bieber prodigy.
now I'm frightened for her. Like just
Yeah.
not because she's
Call
that
Me
innocent,
Maybe was-
but like that sort of bothers me that you're pretending to be that innocent because like that's creepy.
She was discovered by Bieber.
Hey kids, wouldn't it be crazy if
and
guys called you?
Actually,
she's totally doing
that
double aim.
song was originally supposed to be intended for Mr. Bieber himself.
She didn't
Still
write
have
it?
never. I've in my
She wrote
life
it for
heard
him.
maybe
No,
8 seconds. Of
I think I'm not. I
Justin
think
Bieber.
yeah, but it was supposed to go to him, and then like he.
All right,
was
let's move on
give
past
it to
the
her.
Biebs.
Let's make a video.
The
All right.
lesbian.
What you got?
Got a partial sentence for us.
Can I go last? I wasn't thinking about it.
You got a partial
fair
sentence? Ready
I
for
do.
us?
Yeah. My car is.
That looks pretty good. I think
So
we
what
may
do
have
I
done
do
this one
now?
before. Now you write down 3 ends to my car is before this song ends.
Got it. Got it.
Shit.
Got it. I'm in.
Okay. Teddy, my car is.
My car is not here anymore.
Okay.
My car is filled with immigrants. My car is compensating for my depression. Again, not biographical. Only for
Just guessing what Google might be.
Just tapping into the greater Google Nexus.
My car is a piece of shit.
Oh, that's good.
My car is making a weird noise. My car is my only friend.
Oh, tough. Billy.
My
Getting in on some of
car
that
is
Teddy trip.
making weird sounds.
Oh, that's good.
My car
Alright.
is smoking, and my car is worth.
I don't know if that's good.
My car
I didn't write-
is
Oh, well.
overheating, leaking oil, leaking water, shaking, smoking. 5 points for
Hey!
Billy.
Nailed it.
My lover.
Ha!
Oh, that's so close. So close.
Damn!
Burning oil, sputtering in the front yard, leaking green.
My car is in the front yard. Damn, how did no one go for
Oh,
front
I
yard?
should have gone lover. I kept writing my. Why did I say my only friend?
I should have.
Oh,
I
man.
said I was going to write something about a penis.
Billy, taking an early
What did
lead
Billy
here.
get
5 points.
No one wanted to know what their car is worth? I'm surprised by that.
Clearly, people want to know that their car is their lover. Is that a thing?
Yeah, like,
Is that a
why-
thing?
why-
What's going on? Is that like a song or something?
Why would you search for that?
That's
Why-
Oh, I think probably
keep
'cause
that shit to
remember
yourself.
That,
That seems like country music.
remember that? No, I know why that's on
My
there.
car is my lover.
That weird.
Oh, the National Geographic show, Strange Love. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or TLC. Yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
fair
yeah.
enough.
That person had sex with the car.
All right.
Okay.
Damn
fair
it. I should have known that. All right.
Well played.
Well,
Billy.
that's what I get for not watching reality shows.
Well played.
Billy, you got a partial sentence, or you want me to go?
Why do black girls?
Oh, Jesus.
Oh,
I'm not
God.
going to be very
This
good
is
at
not
this
gonna
at
be
all.
good. Oh no.
I'm not either, but it's the weirdest thing I can think
Is
of.
it in there? Did you check first?
I'm going to find out. Let's find
Did
out.
you check first?
It'd be
Wait,
funny if
does
why
this
do
ruin it? Oh, you're gonna.
black girls. It seems like it's coming up.
It's coming up with stuff.
Think so. Looks like it. Yeah. Oh, man.
And now I can't think of anything.
I'm trying to think how to phrase it. I know what I want to say.
Can I pee real quick?
Nope.
Okay. Great.
Billy,
Got it.
start us off.
Why do black girls dance so well? Why do black girls sing well? And why do black girls steal my heart?
Oh, shook it, duck it now.
Jesus, am I a racist piece of shit?
You
I went
are,
all this.
yeah. Billy got you with the okey-doke. You didn't know that was gonna come out.
He's
yeah.
like, why does Billy kiss so much ass?
No. Okay. Here we go. Why do black girls not let you touch their hair?
Oh yeah. Oh, that's so true.
Thank you.
You got that one too?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I-
Go ahead.
Why do black girls not play?
That one's funny for points.
I don't get it, but all right.
You don't know nothing about being black.
No.
It's true. I've never seen a black girl play
Why
video
do
games.
black girls hate white bitches?
Oh, you know what I should have.
Damn. Oh, you're going
That
to
lady
clean up
from
on
there.
this.
Why do black girls?
That,
Not ever
here's
got
where I
time for
show I know nothing at all. Okay, I got, why do black girls make fun of me,
Yeah.
never date Asians,
Mm.
and worry about their hair so damn much?
That
Okay,
the
okay.
second one could definitely be
You're
one.
definitely racist about it.
Here, you know what?
Me and Billy got this old
Billy,
lock,
you
bro.
know about Rule 34, right? If you can think of it, there's porn on the internet of it.
Oh yeah.
Right. I have found one exception to Rule 34 that I've yet to see. 2 black chicks, 1 Asian.
That is the best joke ever. Do you have that as a bit? know you
I guess it should be, but it's just something I've noticed.
No, because
Why do black girls have attitudes like Asian men? I've never seen that. Why do black girls
Wow.
wear wigs like me, wear fake hair, wear weave, hate me? Oh, damn it, I had made fun of me. Do I get
Yeah,
any
no, you don't
points?
get it. You don't get it.
Come on, talk so live, get weaves, pat their weave.
Okay,
Ugh.
listen. Now listen. Pat their weaves is a 10-pointer. I said touch their hair. pat their weave, touch their hair.
No.
I'm putting myself.
Did you say touch their hair?
I said touch their hair.
No,
Oh,
not
let you
let
touch
you-
it. Because they pat their weave.
Yeah.
They ain't gotta do that.
You don't get to do that.
I get it.
No.
I get it.
No, we're all
I
that's
get it.
goose eggs, but
I
you got
get
2
it.
points for making Billy laugh.
Damn. Why do
Have
black
at
girls hate me? I feel like should be like, hey, white bitches. That's a white bitch right
Why
there.
do
That's a
black
white
girls?
bitch.
Yeah,
That's a
look,
white bitch right
you
there.
win this
You know
game
that's a
far
white
too
bitch right-
often to be
you know that's a
playing
white
this
bitch right
fucking frippered horse shit like that you're doing here.
You know what white bitch wrote that?
That's all actually really. There's a lot of people wondering about their weaves.
Yeah, right. Damn. So that's like 5.
Like, look,
4 out of 5. What is that?
wear fake hair, wear weaves,
Wigs.
get weaves,
What?
pat they weave.
Wigs. It's 5 out of 10, bro. 5 out of 10 is about weaves.
Let's see.
2 of them about attitudes.
That's really funny.
1 is about Asian men.
I figured.
What
I
I'm
actually
talking
thought.
6 out of 10, actually.
Let's see.
Think. Damn. What you got? Billy's up now. Are you
Okay.
using a new page every time?
No, he just
that
did
was
the
mine.
Why Do Black Girls.
Oh, dude, I'm wasting.
It's my turn.
It's always your turn.
All right, this will be fun.
I am using,
Billy,
You ready? You ready? I got a good one.
I'm using a new paper every time.
You ain't old recycling, motherfucker.
Let me make sure. I think this one will work. Hold on.
Why do black girls steal Billy Bonnell's heart? That's a good question, universe.
Okay. Yeah, I got a good one. You ready for this?
Okay, here we
This is
go.
gonna be fun. My childhood was.
Oh, damn. Why you got to open up that A&E Hoarders box? son?
Yeah, motherfucker.
Oh, no.
I'm just going for an easy win.
Oh, damn it.
I should say I'm hoping for an easy win. I don't know if I'm going for it. Eight seconds. Teddy's racing through his head. He's gonna cry before the.
I hate this topic. I hate it. I hate you. I
That
hate you.
pen's like lighting on
I
fire
hate
while you
I hate
while you
burn
write.
everything. I wanna burn it.
Oh, I'm sorry, Teddy.
I hate you, damn
I'm
it.
sorry.
You
I'm my intent this month, if we
Fuck
play
you,
Google
Ted.
Feud every
Fuck
week,
you,
my
Ted.
intent is to have all of mine will be will start out with the intent of being happy. That could be very happy.
Yeah, right.
It won't be.
Shut your face.
All right. I got my
Ew.
childhood was dysfunctional, depressing, and so much easier.
Oh,
Billy.
so much easier.
Yeah, that's good. What you got
I
there?
wrote awesome, bad, and littered with deceit.
2 points. I like it.
See, that's good too. My childhood was too short. My childhood was terrible. My childhood was filled with alcoholics.
You forgot to tell people that you're just sort of.
Yeah, this is all as a non-biographical.
I mean, it's not.
So I'm just guessing with the greater Google spear. My childhood is ruined. Oh my
No,
god.
what?
Typical Sungers and Rango from Austin Powers. Horrible. Who had horrible?
Bad?
No,
I thought you had
I
terrible.
said terrible.
That's very close.
Oh,
shit!
Oh, I got it.
The
I
10th
got
one.
it!
The 10th one.
I got awesome.
Typical, better than yours. Awesome, ruined.
I got
the time
awesome.
when I was innocent.
I
a
wrote
lie.
awesome.
You got awesome.
My childhood was a lie. Oh, how did I not
6
get
points
that?
for you.
I wrote awesome.
Oh Jesus. Oh,
Oh, I snuck in. I snuck in.
you son of a bitch.
No one. You should. If you get that, you should win the game. My childhood was like Shawshank Redemption. Where does that?
Like
from?
the Shawshank Redemption.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's
pretty
incredible.
good. No, I got nothing on that. I was really hoping that.
man.
All right, fuck it. Once
Litter-
again, Teddy
like littered
taking
with
it home
deceit.
with the fucking Google feud. Billy,
How did you get 10 points?
he
I
got
got
the
the
last
bottom,
one
I
on
got
the
the
list.
bottom.
Oh, that's a bonus.
No, it goes by.
what
That's
they
the amount
said,
of points you get is for how far down on the list it is.
Oh no shit. That
did
was
it.
Yeah.
genius.
I did it. My childhood
Yeah.
was terrible. Shout out to everybody on Google with a terrible childhood.
All right,
This is for
so
you.
That's not what
We
we
did
wanted.
it.
That's not at all what we're trying to say to people. Terribly sorry, everybody. Everybody can just go home and they're like, well, I got one good thing out of it.
We overcame.
Billy Bonnell, what do they? What do you want to plug? Where can people find you?
Check out my sketch channel, Tunguska Yacht Club, Tunguska, if you like raps and funny videos.
That's on YouTube.
It is.
You got
Okay,
a Facebook and a Twitter account?
Yeah,
thing?
Billy Bonnell, and what's my next show? Oh, I'll be at the American Comedy Company on December 12th with the Death Squad guys. So if you're in San Diego, I'm not sure who the headliner is, but Brian Redband will be there, myself, and I heard Doug Benson. That's what I heard.
Good
Awesome.
stuff.
Awesome.
It hasn't booked yet, so that's in 2 weeks. So come see that if you want to. Tickets are $12, and I don't get any of that fucking money. Maybe I will.
Maybe
You never know. You never know.
Pour some hand.
Somebody will buy you drinks or something, right?
Yeah.
right.
What's today's date? Yeah, that's my next show.
December 3rd.
Worth plugging, unless you want to see me do open mic. If you do,
Just give me a call.
Yeah, right. Yeah, holler at your boy off the grid.
What you got, Teddy?
Formosa Cafe, Saturday, 8 p.m. Bitches.
All right.
Mitch.
And you can catch me on the rerun of Along for the Bride this Thursday on TLC, along with Teddy here. You'll find him as the only black guy at the wedding.
Looking cool as a motherfucker. Good night, bitches.
Thanks for listening to Straight Riffin'. You can catch all past and future episodes of Straight Riffin' on the official website riffin.net, riffin.net. Keep in mind, we do air live every Monday night from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Pacific Time. That's 10 p.m. to midnight for you East Coasters. You can actually watch that right on Facebook, on our fan page, facebook.com/straightriffin. Like us, check out the Ustream page. You can even chat while we're doing the show. That's how we interact with the fans. We thank you so much for listening. Check out riffin.net. Buy my album. Buy Teddy's album. We'll catch you again next time. And rip the fuck on, bitches!